The most
but
dangerous
the
streaming.
button is pressed. Hello, everybody. This is Grimcat, and we are here for some Dungeons and Dragons. We are playing 5th edition. We are in the campaign setting world of the Seas of Vodari. Apparently, I just took too much of a drink, and so now I'm like fighting back hiccups while I'm talking. But either way, we are joined by a bunch of players today who are fantastic. We will be introducing them and saying what character they play. Who would like to start first? Who wants to introduce themselves first?
I'm Gypsy, or 420 MYK. I play Nyx, the arcane puppeteer changeling. I also am very squishy. So it's a good thing I've got puppets to take hits for me, even though they don't tend to. But that's because Nyx just kind of walks into things.
Fair enough.
Next person.
Oh.
Alright, I'll go next.
I'm sorry.
I'm Flux. I'm playing Varial. I apologize if I cough tonight. I'm a carpenter, so there's sawdust in my lungs.
That's it.
I'm Shafa, the halfling rogue that's really bad at coming up with last-minute plans on how to get inside villages. Also known as Mufasa or Fraser or Frasier if you're Grimcat.
Fraser Crane.
Last but not least.
Well, I was waiting for you to introduce me, Chris. I see. Hello, I'm Nikki. I play Tythrin in this campaign, and yeah, I'm a Bolty boy. And I'm sorry, 420. I was about to burst out laughing during your introduction, but no, I wasn't gonna laugh at you. I was gonna laugh independent of you.
What's that for?
I was watching the video, Graham. That's all I gotta say.
We'll talk about
Grim
the
knows all
video
that,
during an
but-
intermission. So last time, some pretty exciting things happened last time. The big one is that we have gotten off the ship now. In a
Not the way you
rather spectacular fashion, I suppose. We were sort of sailing through this hurricane, and a bunch of sort of spires were rising all around us, including directly towards the middle of the ship. The spires certainly came together and shore the ship in twain, also killing our poor and good dear friend Harvard. May he rest in peace. Some amount of time passed. We don't exactly know how much time passed, but it was a significant amount of time, because when we woke up, we were sort of starving, we were sort of thirsty, and we were very exhausted. The first things that we did was explore a cave in which we found some mushrooms that wanted to kill us. Probably not sentient, but wanted us dead nonetheless. We found sort of a shrine in said cave with sort of the crude statue of a warrior and possibly his weapons. Certainly, a good bet that they would have been his weapons. We elected, surprisingly, not to take those weapons. And I think it turned out for the better. We explored on the island a little bit. Go ahead.
What are you trying to say about? I don't know if that was like super distant. I was far away from the computer at the time, but saying that we're like a bunch of grave robbers.
I mean,
we just turned up to the village of the people who likely made the shrine, so if we were carrying the weapons from said shrine, they probably wouldn't have, welcomed us as hospitably.
Exactly. This is actually where the cave
But I can't.
is.
But Grim is implying that he's surprised we wouldn't defile.
That there's at least one roguey type there on the with you.
This is a good point.
Why is everyone looking at me just because I wanted to steal the sword?
But you didn't. You controlled those baser impulses. Oh, that is just awful.
I'm a better rogue.
You're a better rogue than that. So we managed to explore in a way that pretty much beelined us towards the village.
Well, to be fair, we were just kept going right, and we couldn't go right anymore. We went up.
It's like solving a maze.
You're
Just
right.
touch the wall and you'll get out sooner or later.
We passed a bridge, quite a large bridge, that was
Covered in
adorned.
feathers. Covered in feathers.
Covered
and all
in
that?
feathers, bundles of feathers, rather than just feathers. And we made our way into the village.
Wow. Saying we made our way into the village is a bit.
To the village, I
Simplifying
suppose
things.
you're right. Yeah, sure. We sort of had an interesting talk with the people. Interesting because we don't really speak the language that they're speaking, and they don't exactly speak ours, so there was a little bit of floundering about figuring out how to communicate with these people. Luckily, as it turns out, that at least one of them, this gentleman right here, does speak an archaic form of a druidic. I wanted to say broken at first, but it's broken, but it's broken because it's so old.
Yeah.
Like
Like French and Creole.
right. After some talking around, we found out that they're worshipping this thing that destroyed our ship, that we believe destroyed our ship, as sort of a god. And it is more or less keeping them penned in on the island. We haven't gotten too far into histories and stuff, so, I mean, no reason for me to go too far. But we have been allowed into the village on the condition that we are surrendering up our weapons to them. And as they take their weapons, it's been said before, it's done with a great deal of ceremony. Weapons are not just things in their eyes, but they got a little bit of meaning to them. Sharfer, who's doing roguey things and sort of hiding off to the side, has sort of doubled back around, and through a series of concocted and well-crafted and well-executed lies, has managed to gain entry as well. The last thing that we've sort of
Well, we haven't actually gotten entry, or he hasn't gotten entry. They just didn't suspect him in the sense of.
Fair
they're
enough. So
suspicious
he
that-
hasn't actually done the handing over the weapons or anything like that?
No,
Nah,
he's
I
not.
think we were literally up to that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'd just lied to them, and then we left off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the next step in logic with them being like, oh, well, you can join your friends, but give your weapons.
Is there anything else that I have left off, or does that pretty much cover?
You've covered everything, but I noticed that Emerald hasn't done her old drawing Chester yet.
Oh my gosh, Chester, he doesn't exist.
I've got to let her do her graffiti somewhere.
So we will pick up pretty much
what is this
exactly
banana
where we
thing?
left off, which was sort of Sharfer coming up upon the other ones and gaining entrance to the city. So Sharfer, again, as you're sort of walking up, you sort of walked away, I believe, and then walked towards it to make it seem more natural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even gone for a run and
so
just
walking up
look
and-
exhausted.
Talking to them, you would notice that they are all unarmed, and that these villagers are carrying their weapons. It's got to be said with a good deal of reverence as well. We've sort of established that you know each other, the party to the party, of course. So obviously they're not challenging you more as you approach sort of the village gates.
If I noticed that they were all unarmed and actually were, and all the tribesmen were holding them with reverence, would that I'd probably stop around here
Mm-hmm.
and then take all of my weapons out and put them on the ground and stand back from them.
So immediately as you do that, about 2 or 3 of the people start pushing past. Whoops. The 2 of you, Variel and Tytherin, and start rushing. I'm grabbing your token. I don't mean to be. Towards you, Sharfer.
They like weep.
The one we've sort of noticed before is sort of, why are you all just treating your things so poorly?
I mean, we're not. It's just them.
I pass the messages along. That's just assumed to the whole group.
To be fair, I tend to maintain mine pretty well.
But you're not respecting them.
Shame on you, Sharfer.
I was just trying to surrender them so you knew I wasn't a threat.
So you would get sort of a disapproving look. And this one, whose name...
Sorry.
She's dying.
Oh, Jesus.
Our translator's gone.
His name is Traxel. Would take your weapons and again sort of give you a different disapproving stare. Sharfer, would you hand over everything?
Well, I'd hand over my rapier, short sword, and daggers, and I would probably also hand over my hammer, because that can be used as a weapon.
Do you have like a pistol on you or anything? I'm not actually looking at your sheet right now, is why I'm...
I did not take any firearms.
Okay.
I don't have pistols. I don't think I have any ranged.
Okay.
Hand over the
I was
crowbar.
incredibly smart. That got stolen off me in the ship.
But
Did they
yes.
ever give him his
It is
crowbar
now,
back?
so
No, I
the
do
ship
not
got
believe he
sunk
ever got
before I asked.
his crowbar or his thieves' tools back.
These tools. Oh my gosh.
I was totally gonna ask the first mate, but then the ship got snapped in half.
Maybe shippy.
Snippy shippy.
To be fair, I can make them sooner or later with the right materials.
But then you are pretty much granted access into the city. The last thing as well, past that, was that they would give you, food, water, and that they would help sort of search for other survivors as well along the island. As you're sort of brought in, you can see certainly what has to be a good portion of the tribe that is out. And it is more than what you see here. All told, going through, we probably see about 100 individuals, men, women, and children, most of which have some sort of weapon. Most of it appears to be things like wooden spears, something that's very commonly made, very cheaply made. But you can tell that as someone sort of becomes an adult, trusted, more trained, that they're given some sort of glass type weapon. Most typically a makwaddle, but sometimes just glass daggers or something like that. But pretty much all the adults have something made out of glass, not just the wooden things that some of the youths and some of the children's have.
So they are actually holding their weapons. Like they're walking around town, they have them on them.
They would be
Or do
walking
we, like,
around town
See
with them.
on like racks.
No, they would be carrying them with them. Now, that said, they're not like holding them threateningly or menacingly.
Right.
So if they have something like a sheath or something, it would be sheathed. Some of them would be slung around backs in the case of the larger weapons, spears, makwaddles, or things like that.
Yeah.
But it's very clear that these people pretty much constantly have their weapons on them.
Would
I
they
just
have
find it interesting.
would they have like instantly sent people out to start looking for other survivors? Or
No,
was
they
that
have not
like
done
we're going to?
anything like that. You are certainly the center of attention right now. And you're a very big center of attention for a very, large reason.
Fair enough. Well, in that
We should
case,
proclaim ourselves as gods.
whenever it gets brought up that they would probably be sending, because like we have our obviously middleman interpreter kind of backwards and forwards and everything. When they talk about sending people to go and look, I'd turn to the party and say, guys, should we maybe tell them that not all of the survivors may exactly be alive or human?
Oh.
Because we've got a, let's face it, undead captain, many mouthed horror, and whatever else may have been creeping on that ship in the bilges and such.
If I'm being completely honest, I'd be more than happy to alert them at the captain, but do we really care to protect the many-mouthed horror?
In that thing's
I
case,
do.
it may be less of protecting it and more protecting them. I think it'd just be a courtesy thing to let them know that, they may
I don't
see
think we should.
stranger things than they've ever seen. And
Fair
it's
point.
kind of a direct cause of us, even if it's not our fault.
I mean, I kind of care about the safety of the many-faced, the many-mouthed creature, but
I mean,
I would
to be
believe
fair,
that
it was
they
never
would
meant
be
to
they
exist.
would just leave and swim through the water. They seemed pretty adept at swimming.
I'd
I
imagine
think
so
they
too.
would not be on this island.
But their companion might be, and their companion would have had to have been bought somewhere. And if we were bought here, chances are this island is probably the closest to where we were wrecked.
So we can let them know that? Sure. We'll just pass along information about our strange roommates.
I don't think we should tell them, but you guys can go ahead.
I mean, no, if someone else has an aversion to it, because at the end of the day, they were meant to not
Well,
exist, at
I
least
mean,
in
like,
terms of the horror.
If we say, hey, look for our mini mouth, look for like some monster, they're our friend.
Oh no, I'm not
we don't
saying
really
talk.
associate it to
I'm
them.
not saying say that. I'm meaning more like just warn them that our ship was carrying things besides humans. I mean, they've seen me already, so that's pretty odd. And then if they see the undead captain, and then all of a sudden the other thing with his companion.
I
But
feel like
the-
it might be best to not sort of shock them with a bunch of,
Maybe not the
possibly foreign,
maybe not the
creatures
mouth
all at
horror
once.
then, because the mouth horror, I guess, wasn't supposed to exist as far as we were concerned.
And I mean, what good would it even have? No. The other people.
We don't want them to kill Declan.
But would they even? They don't particularly seem like the kind to go around and just murder indiscriminately.
I mean,
I think most
living,
people would murder Declan, though.
yeah, most people won't just indiscriminately murder living things, but if you see, undead, you tend to, at the very least, avoid them.
Well, I mean, I feel like
I was
surely
I was
she would
speaking
want that other people, but
So sorry.
I was speaking more for Teklin's sake than the mouth thing. That's, as far as we were told, doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist, of course. I mean, sure, we can tell them that, like, a possible undead is gonna wash up. Do they even know what undead is?
I guess we could ask. And I'd kind of look at our interpreter. I forget who it is. Is it Varial who's our interpreter?
Burial. It is indeed
Yes.
burial.
Hello.
Then I would turn to you and say, well, maybe ask them if they have any tales or if they have undead on the island or anything.
I will ask them that exact question. Have they heard of like undead before? Things that walk but are dead.
They've heard of it, and there are currently none on the island. Largely in part
find
because,
one-
you know, if it springs up, they re-kill it, as you were.
Yeah.
Which is, yes, I think at least in the case of Techlin, we should probably warn them that not to instantly kill anything or everything undead that washes up.
I can even give them a specific description of Techlin and be like, this one's good.
I can do you one better, and I would kind of do my best at the, kind of, because I assume the zombied form of her would have been like missing pieces or something like that, like some flesh missing and being water bloated and everything as well. Grim?
Water.
Are you sure?
I don't think we should just be shifting into things indiscriminately. I mean, we are in once again, a fairly simplistic, people with simplistic knowledge. It might not be a good idea. I mean, they're already wary of us as is. We probably shouldn't give them reasons to possibly insult them unintentionally or do something quite taboo.
But then I would stop myself from transforming once I saw people start being like, no.
I would recommend against turning into possible undead monstrosities in the middle of the village. If
I
that's
mean, it's
what
not.
you would be trying to
I wouldn't be doing it just like all of a sudden I'm Nyx, and then 1 second later, boom, I'm zombie. I'd get Varial to explain, like, what she's about to look like. Keep an eye out for that, and that one is okay. Like
I
I'm
think
not
we could
just
just simply
jump scaring
say-
them.
Well, I think we could just simply say there was one undead. There was one undead with us who isn't like the normal, isn't like most, or is like I don't know how. I don't even know how. Like I guess there's technically an undead race in the world, so I guess you can be
Yeah.
undead and be friendly. But like whatever you would call a friendly undead, as weird as that would be, you know.
Or is it Necropolitans?
They would
There's
sort
some
of
weird
exist.
zombie race.
There
Yeah,
is, like, in Vodari, like, the handbook, you can become cursed or whatever with
yeah, those-
unlife, but, I mean, you're
That's
more or
different.
less not
But, I mean, 'cause
super
it-
distinguishable from, like, a living person as one of those, you
Yeah.
know?
And meanwhile, Techlin was like obvious undead. though.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it simple. Let's just be like, hey, there was an undead with us. If you see them, and if you see one and they do not instantly attack you, they may be friendly. Don't kill them.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. Keeping it general, so like they know what to look for while simultaneously not being like, asking
Zombie
too
in your
much
village.
questions. Yeah,
Alright, is that the finalized message then?
yeah.
I passed that along.
We are about to say one sentence.
Just minutes of debate for one sentence.
Pretty much.
Well, we should tread carefully. I'll remind them.
But it is pretty clear that they are not super wild about the concept of undead being on their island. And they let you know that.
It would just be one.
And
The
as soon as
undead,
we can
they
leave, we
are
will be.
despoilers. They don't live in the balance. Their very presence can rot the land. We're a small island. This is not a thing that can happen.
And
This-
that's why we plan on leaving preferably sooner rather than later.
Good point. This one's good, not bad. Doesn't corrupt and defile and do bad things. They still have their mind and whatnot.
I think he means a more natural sense of undeath just killing everything around it.
Yes,
as
unintentional.
opposed to more of evil intent. It's more of, think of bacterial
Disease
rot
and
or a
such.
disease. Once it sets in, it starts to spread and multiply. I think that's more what he meant.
Does Teklin do that?
I mean, we haven't even seen if she's around yet, so maybe it will be none concern.
Primitive village, remember?
Ah. Well, she'll be
The
fine.
undead
She doesn't.
are a blight.
Anyone
Poor-
got a good response to that? And they're kind of blanching here.
Poor Teclin.
Vortex. That's our response. Um, maybe just say, most undead certainly are such a thing, but there are the rare few that hold semblance of. Yeah, what would you? I would say, like I guess semblance of mind.
Humanity.
Because I can't like be like, they're conscious, everything. Like, whip out the philosophy textbook with these guys.
She's non-infectious. How about that? Not much of a blight.
I
One's
cannot
friendly. She's Sparky Queen.
promise what would happen. What you ask goes against centuries of our teachings. That the undead or an anathema to us is ingrained.
Then let's hope you don't have to run into her and she can just find her own way, I guess.
Like I said, we don't even know if she's here. Maybe let's just carry on with whatever we should be doing here.
Yeah, yes, I agree. It was more of just a courtesy warning anyway.
All right.
For all we know, everyone else died anyway.
Yeah.
We hope not for your sakes. Never good to lose friends in tragedy.
We were just entrepreneurs.
Kinda looks sideways at Shafa. Yeah, friends.
I'm gonna
None
give
of them are my friends.
a pat on the shoulder to everybody. And give them a thumbs up, like, yeah, we're all in this together. Do I need to roll a bluff check?
To whom? The rest of the party or the other people?
Mostly the party.
But what would the rest of the village be doing during this time?
Mostly crowding around you.
Staring.
Yes.
What are the frogs? What are the frogs? I
Moscow.
specifically asked Burial to ask whoever druid McPlant is, what are the frogs?
The
Food.
livestock.
Livestock.
Do they do anything?
You eat?
I know you
They're
frogs.
just frogs.
They jump?
They're big frogs.
You jump. How tall is the fence, out of curiosity? Is it like comically short like
It is comically short.
So, like,
Docile, I suppose.
they stay because they're docile, not because they're kept.
But frogs in wild, not like these frogs. Predators, voracious, eat whatever they can. Especially like the small one. And he would point to Sharfer. Swallow whole.
Oh.
Please don't. Please don't feed me to the frogs.
Oh no, not feed you.
You feed them.
But we feast tonight. We slaughter frog. You try it. Excellent.
Can I pat one with a 21?
Can you pat a
And will
frog?
it let me ride it?
Sure.
You pat it so hard it explodes.
You know, you would sort of approach to the pen, and being stated before, amphibians are kind of voracious feeders. It would certainly come to you as if you were going to offer it a tidbit of food or something. At least that's what you can tell that's what it's thinking. But like several of them, crowd right up to you as you approach the pen.
I would give them big pets and then throw in a ration.
They would, tear into it. They're frogs. They are moist.
Do they really tear? Or would they just go like, "Hope," and then
I just imagine 5 sticky tongues slapping the exact same point in space at the same time and just ripping it perfectly into 5 pieces.
Well,
You ever seen toads fighting over beetles?
there's a
Very
lot of
fun.
slapping involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what
They're
do
like
the villagers do during that? Like,
they're
do
like
kill?
gas and horror as you like defile their very food.
Yeah, like, are they like, oh my god, sacrilege, don't fuck with our frogs?
They're like,
No,
they're like
they-
covering the kid's eye.
They do not seem worried that you fed these frogs.
And I would take good notes about said frog's legs.
Maybe
Can you ride these frogs, Grim? Are these big enough to ride?
they're probably big
What
enough
is
for
the final
Sharfer to
frog?
ride, but certainly not for another person to ride.
Riding frogs.
Go on, Sharper, try it. Roll that one.
You say?
As we mentioned that the frog can swallow him whole.
Y'all ever seen a frog
There's-
rodeo?
there's like this whole Chef doesn't know what to do. He wants to stay away, but he wants to ride the frog. But he could eat him, but he wants to ride it.
So what would you do?
Just jump
Probably
on
going
his
to keep a wide berth from them.
So Varial as well, while sort of everything's been going on, everyone has been coming up to all of you. They're eager to touch you, to put their hands on you. Your clothes are vastly different than theirs. They're very eager to inspect your weapons that are held by the others. And you notice that as they're sort of talking and shouting, that pretty much all of them are speaking, although not as well as the one that we have been speaking with, but they are intermixing these words of Druidic into their just normal language, it seems. While we're getting concepts and whatnot, and pretty deep conversation in with at least the shaman, you could probably get something by with everyone, excuse me. So what I'm saying is that if you're present, you can certainly run translator for anyone here. Sometimes it might be a bit more haltingly, and we might have a bit more trouble getting alien notions or concepts across, but we could have a conversation with anyone. Via you, however.
Happily translate.
At least we're not doing high RP and making you translate every word in between this.
It can be fun, but it sure slows things down.
Grim says something, Varial has to re-say it to
By
us.
like telephone.
Yeah, then you get the telephone game going on. Like I said, it could be fun, but it does slow things down a lot.
Oh god. Oh. Sorry.
Is there anyone like around me? Like villager wise?
There would be several people around you. It looks like the ones that are around both the frogs and you are probably handlers of the frogs. They're sort of making sure you don't do anything to harm them, and they're sort of making sure that they remain docile with you as well.
I wanna look at them. And I'm gonna point at the frog, and I'm gonna say frog. Like I'm gonna try to teach them this is a frog. And I'm gonna like sort of like see if they tell me what it is in return, and we're gonna like trade the word frog.
Sure.
You
So
know what
they would look at you. They would look at each other. Frog?
frog?
Frog.
No, like that. Yeah, and we just go back and back for until
And
eventually they can say frog.
I can't do the little accent thingies. But they would say,
Frog.
Nashte.
Then I'd be like nashte, or maybe I'd say like noshte,
Nashte.
something weird. Yeah, and then we go back and back forth
Frog?
with me trying to say
Nashte.
it. Yeah, nashte.
Frog.
There you go, and there you go. And then while everyone else is talking, this is what I'm going to be doing. Well, more or less, for the next like couple minutes.
I see. There are several other peoples that are rather noteworthy amongst the crowds as well. Some of them have their titles next to them, so when I show you, obviously, you will know whom they are. Okay, this person is actually not visible, so I will not show you this one. However, we have right up at the top.
Okay.
Invisible villages?
Well, is that the priestess?
That is Cass, and we would have gotten the names out of the way too. So
yeah, we're doing a whole run now.
like if you have the things, we don't have to worry about. Oh, who is this?
Earl Dabber. She's murdering a bird.
F.
Is she doing that as we're here?
She's just murdering a bird. She seems to be dressing it. She
Always.
seems to be going through plucking it. It seems to, that sort of thing. She certainly is not joining in with the other people as they gawk, as it were.
Too good.
Can I sort of pantomime asking for a feather?
Oh,
Wait, is there a bird?
bird person.
Is there a person? There is a person.
There is
Person.
a person.
Are they like a Kenku, or is it like another race? Or is it a type of Kenku?
It appears to be another race. You're not sure what. You don't. You can give me a nature check.
I could fail it doing that.
You could fail me a nature check. Yeah, you have no idea. You've never seen before.
I'm pretty sure it's a bright green bird.
Not bird.
I would love to sketch this bird.
Draw me like one of your French birds.
On the down low though,
I have
because
a
they're
nature.
clearly sentient.
Almost looks like one of those waitress birds or whatever they're called.
Secretary bird.
Yes,
Secretary birds.
Waitress bird.
Yeah, but no,
it's
are
the
you a
second-class
waitress?
job.
Can I roll a nature check to see if I know
Sure.
the person is?
Anyone can.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and
I mean,
In
I'm right. Me and Nix, we just know everything apparently.
in that case, I'm a real big fan of my birds.
while that's happening and people are rolling, what are our weapon bearers
Well,
doing?
not.
Like, do they stay close to us, or do they move off somewhere, or?
They're doing their best to stay close to you, but the crowd is sort of moving and shoving their way in as they're trying to get to you. And well, again, they still, attempt to stay close. They're not exactly fighting the crowd.
Close. Yeah. They're sort of standing off to the side right now,
Oh no, as long as they're not like
running away with them.
running away.
No,
or
it doesn't
putting
appear
them
as if
into
they're
some
doing that.
storage or anything. No, that's all good. Then. Just I'd definitely be trying to keep an eye on Like, not lose sight of who had them. And that wouldn't just be my weapons either. I know Bix has mine. It's easy to remember because his name's like mine. But I'd keep an eye on all of them as much as possible.
Okay, so after a while of this sort of milling around and whatever, Grok would speak with the ones that you now know are sort of the handlers of the frogs. They would select one, pull it out of the pen, bring it into what is sort of a large open air tent. I mean, it obviously doubles as a kitchen. There's campfires. And
Is
stuff
this place in the middle?
Yes. Campfires, things underneath the tables and whatnots. And they would slaughter the frog and begin butchering it as well.
Nasty.
Frog.
Rock.
Eventually,
Curiosity, the other frogs don't care that the frog is being murdered next to them.
they do not appear to so. Now, in this situation, there also
Do they look
again
happy that they weren't silly?
are a fair amount of people in between. So, it's possible that they don't even know what's going on. But surely, it being a scant, 30 feet in between, it surely would have happened before.
Yeah. Well, not that I know the intricacies of animal species slaughtering care, but I feel like surely if they were saw their own kind getting where they'd let out a death scream oh, I knew their frogs would hear, and they'd be like, that's the death scream of our friend, everybody. There's something like that.
You may be giving the frogs too much credit.
Well, if they sing off like cows, if they were cows, believe a cow was murdered next to them.
You may be giving the frogs too much credit.
Taking them for wasps.
They're staging a coup.
Wasps do that.
See wasps do it. When they hear wasps
Is
die,
it
they all go into a
signal
panic.
or something? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just pheromones with wasps.
Yeah.
So, Sharfer, at some point, Grok would come up to you, and he would squat down next to you. And he would sort of reach into a pouch or something and pull out sort of a small circular disc and hand it to you. And then pantomime it, you eating it. Eat. It good.
I'm assuming I don't understand them, but I'd understand the pantomime, and I'd try and take a bite.
It appears that he has just given you some sort of honeyed candy.
Oh, he thinks you're a child. They don't know what halflings are. That's amazing.
You go, young one.
And not only that, but after having eaten the candy, he would attempt to pick you up and sort of, hold you in his arm up. Like a father to their child or something like that. Sort of. I can't really describe it very well, honestly. So your butt's on their arm, right, not, and he's sort of holding on to your legs and keeping you up. Do you allow that to happen?
Can I look for my translator and say, can someone tell him I'm 28 years old?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was distracted by the frogs.
At this point, Nix is just pissing herself laughing, like actual tears, and bent over, unable to breathe, laughing, seeing that.
I'm laughing too. It's funny, but it's just can someone tell them I'm 28 years old? I'm not a child. I'm just short.
I'd yell out to Burial, tell him to burp him.
Oh God. You're being very sweet, but just so you're aware, that is a nearly 30-year-old man.
No. Child.
Child.
It
I'm gonna point at Chopper and say, child.
eats
Just
the honey,
tiny.
child.
Tiny
Child.
man. Tiny man.
Tiny man is child.
He sort of holds
I've
you at
got
arm's
kinda-
length.
Notices the proportions of the body and is like, not child.
I'd
But
kind
wouldn't, like,
of,
you have a beard,
I'd
Chopper
kind
would
of
have
hold
like
my
facial hair.
hands.
At least like stubble, maybe, if nothing else, right? Halflings have like beards, right?
They can do, but it's not a common thing for them to have either.
No, halflings
They're,
don't
they're
usually
not.
have
They're not
beards.
like dwarves. They're
I
more like
thought they're like mini people, though.
yeah. They're like many people. So some can grow facial hair, some don't. Some.
But
Keep
what is
facial hair.
sharper?
It would
facial
literally
hair
depend
status?
on what Sharfer chooses, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd probably have sideburns, but that would probably be the most of facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
This baby's got full sideburns.
I'm just thinking, like, he must look like the buffest kid ever because he would be proportionally an adult still, an adult halfling. And
Yeah.
halflings are squatter, kind of chunkier, and more there than a child would be. So, like, this guy's just picked up a brick shit house of a child, man.
He's had a rough
childhood.
childhood.
I'd
They grow all fast.
kind of hold my hands out in like like, you know how you're trying to show someone the size of something and you like put your hands together. It's like, and then I'd say child, but it would be like probably about the third of the size of me.
Yeah.
He would put you
I don't think
down.
you understand.
And frown at the two of you, and then sort of shake his head no. He would go away. In a few moments later, he would come back with 3 or 4 strips of dried meat, and he would give them to you. And again, pantomiming eating, and then sort of pantomiming, something small growing to something big.
I feel bad for him, so I'm gonna look up at him and smile, and then start eating.
He approvingly nods to you, and it looks like he reaches down and starts to tussle your hair, and then sort of pulls his hand back right before he does it.
I think we'll just let that be. I walk away.
So at some point, Cass, whom we... Sorry, go ahead.
You being so short would be so different. It's just saying, I forgot I was so short.
At some point, Cass, who we sort of were given a round of introductions to, but haven't really stopped and had a conversation with, would approach you, Variel, sort of to the side. She would sort of give you an up and down, and ask, what are you doing now?
Has she got like really good druidic or something?
Maybe?
Well, I asked because she seems like, be it intentional or not.
More or less
she
the
seemed to
same.
talk
It
much
was
more.
a less
Okay.
intentional thing, but it's surprisingly not the easiest thing to do.
At current, sort of waiting.
She shakes her head
towards
no.
dinner?
After.
Well, I suppose we'll be trying to find some way out of here eventually. Some way off of the island.
Leaving, yes?
Yes, leaving.
Good.
At some point. Yes, good.
You should be leaving sooner rather than later. You here,
That would be the
and others here, throw island out of balance.
We should stay here just a spider.
Hmm.
Right.
Right.
She tells that we're amazing.
Well, we'll do our best to put everything back the way we found it.
She sort of scowls a little bit and shakes her head no. And then she sort of pantomimes the shape of an island. 30 miles, 30 miles. 100
they use the
people.
metric system over here. Or
Can't
the
support
imperial system, I
more.
should say?
Kibuka doesn't let us.
We
Who's
can feed
Kabuka?
ourselves if it comes down to it.
What was that? I
Can
couldn't
make
quite hear you.
food. I said, we can feed ourselves if it comes down to it, if it's an issue of sustainability.
Not from island.
Hmm?
Not feed from island.
No, not at all. Feed from my hands. That sounded a bit odd.
Right.
Magic. Ooh. Sparkling spells.
Those little like finger hand thing.
Her eyes sort of narrow, and she drew cockshik, which you would know is
What?
this person right here.
Right. Yes, like that. Kind of. Not far off.
Still, you should not be here. Kabuku chose you.
I feel so special.
Shouldn't deny him.
These people about to throw some like ritualistic
Does
sacrifice.
she want us to die to the crab? I think she wants us to die to the crab.
Are you forwarding that she wants us to die to the crab?
Sure, you guys are close to me, so I'll turn back and go. I'll say that.
In that case, I'll be like, did they say why keeping us here then? I guess they're not saying keep us here, but like why here? In the sense of like, sure, they're giving us a meal, but like, are they gonna like sacrifice us afterwards or something?
Oh, I wouldn't think that they'd do that. It would be insulting to ask. Kabuku kept us alive. Are you saying, or he chose us to be eaten?
Chose his sacrifice.
Oh, lovely, wonderful. We're sort of hoping that there'd be a chance he'd let us out. Not particularly likely.
But we not chosen for sacrifice because we're here.
It's a good counter argument. I'll pass it along.
Tell it.
That did not pick up.
Yeah, we should tell her.
We'll
Tell
never
Tell
know.
her.
Tell her
Tell her.
I love her.
Tell that
The desperation in the voice.
to Kabuku for delivery.
Ooh. Picked up a couple words there.
All we heard is deliver the message. It's like the will.
Yeah, Fraser,
I-
you might
I-
need to disconnect and reconnect to the call. You're like
Oh my
phasing at the exact same point every time.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
God.
Tell her.
Hello?
How does now work?
Yeah,
Good.
Pretty good, maybe?
better than
What are we supposed to tell her?
Tell her that we were sent to tell her that.
Oh no!
No!
Tell her that we were sent to tell her is what we got.
She's the sacrifice, not us.
So we got
I
a
don't
friend.
think I'm going to say that. That seems like an unwise idea.
Yeah, I think Discord was trying to save our lives just then, so yeah, do not follow that.
Actually, we're about to kill you, lady.
But I did like. Was it Nix who suggested that our living means that
It was
we've been
me, but
chosen
yeah.
to live? Oh,
No,
apologies.
yeah, it's Tythrin.
Apologies.
No,
I passed that message along though that well, with the fact that we lived means that we clearly couldn't have been chosen by sacrifices. They're a god. If they wanted us dead, we'd be dead.
She spits, and it's clear that she's very angry at that. And she, puts a finger up to your face. You do not interpret will of Kubuka. I do. I do, not you.
Ooh, understand.
And here we see the violence inherited in the system.
Int to everybody, don't talk about the crab.
don't say the C word around him.
C-R-A-B.
Shall be now referred to as Rave.
It shall not be referred as the Snippy Snipper.
Right, of course. My
Snippy
apologies.
And
But
she
I
sort
do
of,
have a certain... Ooh, go on.
after her rant, or as it were, short as though it was, she sort of turns and goes and disappears into one of the larger huts. Unless, of course, you make move to stop her.
No, I'll let her go.
I'm taking her out.
I'm taking her out.
Attack of opportunity.
She moved
We
more
want
than
to find
5
out
feet
an
away
attack
from
of
me.
opportunity.
Yep.
I'll use the frog as an improvised weapon.
We'll come
Oh,
over to...
and I was
Rest of us
wrong.
here.
This other person does show up. Right here. The person
Who's
wearing, literally no clothing.
Hey, is this person wearing Lily? No, this is a child's.
It
This
is
is a
not
family
it is-
friendly.
it
We
is
are
not
family friendly.
You cannot say
D&D
that.
game.
You know, there's parts of the world where they wear literally no clothing, so, more decent. It's fine.
I just
Not like
can't
quite
stop.
the tan lines going on though.
Imagine the effort.
I
How
just
much tape do you have to put on?
I just wonder if her brother is number 4 man prostitute in all of this island. Because with that bikini or mankini that she's wearing,
Okay, back on track.
Back on track.
So they murdered.
So-
So what is happening in the village? Sorry, do you want to say something, Variel?
I was just gonna say, they might kill us at some point, so be ready to run if that becomes...
We don't have our weapons right now.
Exactly why we need to run. They made certain intonations about being chosen by the crab for sacrifice.
Maybe we should just leave.
They
let's
have our weapons.
let's take their offer for dinner first. Hopefully it's not drugged, and maybe Shafa can get our weapons tonight while most of the tribe is sleeping.
Well, on the bright side, I can't be drugged by food, so at the worst case scenario, I'll make sure nothing happens to you.
I don't think I can be put to sleep either, although I could be wrong.
I think you have
Never tried.
advantage
And I don't know, actually.
to charmed and something if you're an elf.
Yeah, it's like the meditation thing.
Yeah.
I think I... Yeah,
I think elves and such can still be put to sleep magically, but they can't
No, they have.
all
entirely possible.
Yeah.
something like that, right,
I,
Grant?
I think in
Do you
5e,
know?
I think they just flat out cannot be magically put to
They
sleep.
can't be put to
Uh,
sleep.
I
Interesting.
think. Again, I would have to
That's-
sort of.
That's magically, not druggily.
True.
Drugs are different to magic.
Magic can't put you to sleep, so yeah, drugs totally could.
Yeah. And you have advantage on saving throws against being charmed.
Yes. In any case, would be wise to perhaps not overstay our welcome. Maybe just stay the night or the day, and then kindly leave.
I suggest we leave tonight if we get the chance.
Yeah, I would suggest we leave tonight as well. We take their hospitality. We don't.
But
No.
we have already been
Refuse it.
traveling all day, so a short rest and some food definitely won't go amiss.
Indeed. We could always camp on the beach or something safe.
Should find something to give them. Perhaps help with goodwill once we leave. I have tea. I could give them some of my tea. I would
We
prefer
give
to
them a
keep it.
hempen rope.
I think if we're going to be taking our weapons back and leaving in the middle of the night, we don't leave, you know.
Oh, we're just leaving? Oh, we're not telling them. I assumed we were just going to be like,
I think
thanks
we
for the
just-
dinner, heading out now.
Yeah, I think we could probably just tell them we are leaving.
If
Sure.
they want us as sacrifices, then do you think they're just gonna let us leave?
You can certainly try.
Well,
Maybe she's
question,
just
girl, where are the
friends.
people who have our weapons right now?
I'm just saying, like, if I'm intending on sacrificing someone and then they say, all right, I'm going now, goodbye, I'm going to stop my sacrifice from leaving.
It's a good
Oh,
point.
Where,
but
where,
maybe...
where are the people who have our weapons, out of curiosity?
There
Since
are
apparently
everyone's like
two here.
getting
There
the-
is one here and one here.
Who has
She
what
might
weapons?
just be a friend element.
Bix has my weapons, I know that much.
I know.
Right, that's one of four. Where's the other three?
Grexel is what I put
Graxel.
down.
I don't even know who has
Yeah,
mine. then.
Graxel.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's this guy. I think this is mine, the guy with the K. and the
Traxall
dude-
has Sharfer's stuff, and I believe
Yeah.
Cotley has yours. Titan.
Only one of them's carrying a hammer, right?
Yes, only one of them would be carrying a hammer.
So I don't even need to remember who it is. I just need to look out for the guy with the hammer.
If it comes down to it, and I hope it does not, I don't need weapons to do what I need to do.
No, which
Certainly.
is definitely helpful.
I think
And I
maybe
mean,
we
I
should.
still have BB. To be honest, my weapons, I prefer not to use them if I have to. Which is to say, they're easily replaceable if we have to make a decision on whose equipment to salvage or rescue.
I got a question for you, Nick. I guess more specifically, 420. But
Yes.
where's Chester? Did you bring Chester with you? Did we leave him back at the cave?
Chester would be with us, yes.
Okay.
I would just basically he would always be with me, like within sight, but I'd just.
Well, yeah,
keep
because
him
you
in
tried to put your
corners
stuff
out of the
in
way.
Chester, and they didn't let you. I think.
Tried to put his
Um,
weapons in Chester.
Yeah.
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 Not himself.
So I'd probably have just like set him down along the fence in this corner
I
or
think
something like that.
Pull one
There's
of the
Chester, I drew him.
Chesters. Oh,
He's-
okay.
No, it's right there. I drew him.
Can we not have Chester looking like a penis though?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a fucking Among Us, dude.
Exactly.
He's sus.
Sus as hell. Out of curiosity, who has Schaffer and Tythrin's weapons?
Mine's to do with the K, and
Hey.
Sharfers is the one with the hammer,
The T.
seeing as no one in this village has hammers.
Well, if it comes
the
down
one with
to
the guy
it,
with the T.
maybe that's who we approach when we let them know we're leaving, so we can snatch the weapons off them as we go.
I mean, surely they wouldn't deny us our weapons. This is like, see, that's a roll of toilet paper.
That's what you made for the cave.
Well, I rolled. I made a piece of toilet paper then.
I don't see why Grim doesn't just drag in a chest from the icons
no
in the
fun.
journal.
So fun. Look at that. We're using toilet paper, Chester.
Oh
Have
my
fun.
gosh.
I mean, can't you too?
No, I don't have access to that. That's a
No,
GM only
yeah,
thing.
that's...
There's a separate
Ugh.
thing apart from the compendium that searches the web for extra tokens and stuff.
Look at this disgusting chest.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I like toilet paper, Chester. Looks like a trap door. Like,
kinda
are you sure
does.
that's not a trap door? Actually,
I'm positive it's not a trap door.
I'm
What
pretty
quite
sure
looks like a chest.
that's a mimic.
Man, this one's a mimic.
I mean, honestly, that's the best Chester, though.
Yeah.
Bring
Well-
the mimic back.
Yeah.
All right. So it's
Well,
going to take
okay.
a few hours as they're sort of, charcoal pitting this thing up. And that's really what they're doing. You know, they're digging a hole, they're putting down, coals and whatnot. They're covering it with, branches and green things like that. It looks like they're smoking / barbecuing this frog. So you sort of have a couple of hours to intermingle with the people. Is that what we want to do, or do we, want to sort of keep to ourselves? What's our attitude here?
Well, we're not friendly considering they tried to murder us.
Yeah.
They
let's
didn't
have
try
a-
to murder you. I mean,
They said they wanted
Let's
to.
have
That
a
one
quick-
lady literally said she wanted us to die. She literally
That's-
walked up and was like, I want you guys to
but
die.
That's one priestess, and honestly, I have the feeling that could be like she's pulling the strings because she can, because she's the word of God. Like, even not as a player, even just as a character, I would think that, like, she just happened to come up to us and all of a sudden decide all that. And then she got
Perhaps we
extra hostile when Varial said that, the god obviously chose us to stay alive. She doesn't want us alive herself. If it was really the factor of the god or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's only one chick
Uh,
that said she's wanted us dead.
I was actually
Well,
thinking
it seems
something
to have-
similar. Maybe we should sort of mingle, ask around.
Hey, do you want
I
us
don't
dead?
know. But sort of be like, oh, I sort of have plans later. Are we going to be sacrificed? Sort of get in
What's your
the way
thought
by
on
5
human
o'clock.
sacrifice?
You know.
I would.
I mean, to be fair, there's also the problem of no one can really talk except Stariel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, most of us could try to mingle, but the try is quite near quotes because it's going to be us pointing at stuff and talking about frogs. Nashke.
I mean, I could put on a play or something to either distract people or
Okay, give me
entertain
a,
children.
you
and
distract
stuff.
everybody, and then we'll take out the people who got our weapons.
I mean, yeah, that
We're
is.
jumping very quickly to violence here. We can probably just figure out if this is a big misunderstanding first before we go to the play murder.
Well, I can give you maybe an hour or two to find out if if my plays go down well with them.
Sure.
It's a lot easier to find out information and such when not everyone's as focused on everything else.
We have to spike the frog.
That is also another option. We could kill them before they kill us. Oh, I mean, drug anyway.
To be
feel like
fair,
it-
remember that there's about 100 people here.
That's why.
They're all going to
That's why we're
participate.
gonna
in the
drug them
meeting.
first.
Who's got poison on them?
I just feel as though that's a thing I should remind you as we discuss
mean,
our murder plan.
Well, none of them speak common.
Yeah, we can just talk about it in the open. Hey, everyone,
Yeah.
I'm about to kill.
I feel like we're jumping very quickly towards violence.
No, I meant
They were
the
giving-
validity of the murder plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, chances are either way, whether it was to help the plans of, finding out more information or just for the entertainment factor, Nix would probably end up doing something
Mhm.
in terms of a play or something like that for the village.
Would you like to roll me a couple performance rolls?
Yeah. Yeah, take 3 of them.
So, what are you doing? You
Well,
have,
so-
I believe, what, shadow puppets?
I have shadow puppets, I have BB and Chester, I have costumes, I have the fact that I'm a changeling. Like that's what Nyx's plays and everything are about. She can basically do all the roles between her and BB just by changing her role herself and everything like that. So one second in the play she'll be the heroic knight, then she's the damsel in distress and everything like that, flicking between them for each play.
As a changeling, can you create clothing, or
No, unfortunately, your
so
clothing.
you have to like change really quick in between
Yeah.
being the damsel in distress and the knight?
Well, I'd imagine like the costumes, she would probably have designed them to be two-sided. So like, she'd stand one
You
way. it
turn
would be
one way and then you turn
yeah, and then turn the other way, and she's the other character. And yeah, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough money to buy Glamour Weave clothing as well, or else I probably would have. But Chester cost a lot of money to make.
Well, Chester can be the damsel in distress.
Well, that too,
toss
but
toss a
he's more
wig
of-
on it.
Yeah. But I mean, he's basically just a box with legs. He's the storage container. He doesn't have a personality or any facial features
Not
like
with
BB
that
does.
attitude. You could put like a mask on him.
True, actually. I think I have things like that.
A
But yeah, I
mask and a
mean,
wig.
it'd be all depending on what kind of, entertainment we needed as well. I think with those roles, they're pretty high enough to say that,
Sure.
I can give us some good distraction, or I can just give the village some good entertainment either way.
I mean, and consider this, the magic carpet in Aladdin, and I'm talking about the original one, not the
Yeah,
remake.
yeah.
That didn't have a face, but
That
it was
had some
pretty good.
personality, yeah.
Personality, yeah, exactly. That could be deathstick.
Ugh.
You could slap 2 of those like giant googly eyes on him, so whenever he moves,
So it ends up looking like the bottom Chester.
yeah.
But yes, the people are very obviously entertained and enthralled with your performance. So I guess the question is, do other people want to take this opportunity to attempt to do things? And if so, what?
I go around. I just teach people the word frog. I'll point at the nashte. I'll be like nashte. I'll like shake my head no, or I'll shake my head, or I'll like get them to look at me. Be like nashte, and I'll point at the frog and be like frog.
So
Frog nashte.
eventually,
Nashte frog.
while they're still, obviously getting the point, but they start calling you Frog. Like, this is now certainly your nickname amongst them, because, you won't shut up about the frog, basically.
Well, no. I mean, if they call me frog, I say no. I shake my head no and be like nashte frog. And I say be Tythrin.
Like, they understand that your name isn't Frog, but they're certainly calling you Frog.
Well, you know what? If they do, then they're gonna get like a whole spiel about how that's a frog, and we're like people.
Frogs are people. Okay. I would like to take this opportunity to approach. I can converse best with the druid, Drook. I'm not even gonna try that, Drook. That's all as far as I'm gonna go.
Dr. Druid.
Axe Ishk.
Drook axe Ishk?
Ishk, yep.
Ishk.
I
Okay,
think we just
Drook
call him
axe
Druid.
Ishk. I will approach him. I'm going to see about that whole sacrifice thing, everybody. I'll be back. Try not to die in the meantime. That would be
The
unfortunate.
safe word will be pineapple.
Why not Nashte?
No, it's not because I'm saying that.
That doesn't help when or Tythrin's gone around saying it every 5 seconds.
Exactly. And so is everybody else.
We're never safe.
I'll be like, if you're in trouble, just yell pineapple or some other random word.
Why is pineapple like the universal one? Because I was thinking pineapple as well.
You don't say pineapple in like your normal day-to-day life.
I suppose.
Usually,
And it's like
usually
a
you don't
pretty,
need a safe word in normal day-to-day life.
well, normal day-to-day life, you're not getting sacrificed. So.
And if you have an exciting life, you do.
Well,
I like to approach Dr. Dre. I like to approach Dr. Dre. Thank you.
Dr. Dre, how's it going?
Hello.
hello. Good show. Yes. Interesting
Yes, they're very
stories.
entertaining. They are very entertaining. Bunch, those two. Just clarifying something. You know, heard it on the grapevine. Wanted to check. Do you guys happen to murder people? You know, sacrifice them to the crab? Kabuka.
Kibuka. Come. And he's sort of,
Yes, we're gonna sacrifice you.
I will follow.
He's gonna take you out back and kill you. So
Hold the
follow
other.
it.
They did know what the pistols were.
This one's on to us.
Kibuka, come with rain, rain god. Rain make him hungry. When him come, sometimes have to make the hard choice. It not if it running away from Kabuka or it's sacrificing one to Kabuka. Sacrifice one every time. Him coming to village couldn't survive.
So I'm going to be straight up with you, because you seem rather forward. Is that the intention with our crew, our band here?
Sacrifice? No. Feast. Eat.
He's batting us out.
Insight check?
Go ahead.
I do kind of believe him. I'll make an insight check just to be sure.
Hey, he may believe him too.
You do not think he intends to sacrifice you?
You do not believe that.
Oh, okay, perfect. I was hoping that would be the answer, but your priestess, she sort of got very angry. I was a bit worried.
Cass?
That takes a load off.
Cass? Cass?
Yeah. Yes.
Cass not strong in village. Try to leverage what she got?
Okay.
Sorry, Grim. You must hate me for that shit sometimes.
I know, right?
Perfect, wonderful. Takes a load off. Sorry to even ask.
Right. But Cass not strong. Cass magic weak.
That's a loser.
Cass talk big. And maybe you think Cass dangerous? But Cass don't speak for tribe.
Okay, that's good. That's very good.
But
Wonderful.
maybe you watch around Cass.
Oh. We'll be careful. Thank you for your warning.
Yeah, let know me or Grok if Cass Cass do something.
Of course. We'll alert to the appropriate authorities if anything happens.
Right. More
Enjoy
questions?
the shows.
No.
No, that was just the main question. Thank you.
Understood. And he would sort of go off back to the circle again.
Great news. She's unpopular and they don't want to kill us.
I didn't
Yeah.
even hear that because I'm still doing my performance, but I just get this shudder down my spine of, I don't think that's what they meant.
So we are going to be absolutely fine. We're safe to stay the night, safe to stay however long we need. We'll be fine.
At some point,
Why does
Kess would
Chester
come
have
out
hair now?
to watch the show. So somebody threw a wig on Chester. I like it.
By the end of this story, Chester's going to be the most fleshed out character.
So if you guys are hanging back, at some point, this, bird would come and speak with you, pretty much after your conversation with Drew Axe-Ishk.
Dr. J.
You from Other Island?
Yes, we're all from other islands.
Of course the bird would know about other islands. It can't get attacked by the water monster. I'm an
Well, then why
idiot.
don't they all know about it then?
She nods. I remember from before.
Ah, so she's old.
When things, how they happen, you take me with you?
They come you with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take bird
Yes.
lady.
Yes.
Are they going to be upset with us?
She sort of scoffs.
We'll do it anyway.
Pet to them.
Oh,
Mistake
that's not right.
of previous shaman. Experiment. Not.
Is she speaking Druidic as well?
She
What
is.
she speaking?
Mm-hmm. She is.
Okay.
Not tribe member, just pet.
Shit, yeah, let's bring the bird.
Yes, I mean, slavery is not. I personally don't condone it. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't take you with us. Yes, agreed. Everybody, cool.
Yes, agreed. she
I mean,
would certainly.
I can't actually agree in character, but yeah, Nyx would be pretty happy with the pretty bird lady coming.
I'm a
I
little
love
busy.
Chester's got a hat now.
Apparently,
She's the
Chester's
dance
also a
of the
princess.
pretty princess.
Yeah, if you like called me over and asked me, I would.
But I mean,
I
I'd
think- figuring out a dimension.
I'd keep the entertainment going.
Well, she was
as
attempting
long as-
to, talk with the group of you that are sort of,
Well, I'm technically not there, but if you waved me over, called me something, I'd be like,
Oh, yeah, I'll wave over. Be like, we got a situation.
we're doing like a football huddle.
All right, so to fill you in, this wonderful bird would like to come with us.
Graham, with my nature
Whenever
roll
we
of
do.
9, did I ever figure anything out about this?
she's a bird. You
Very
don't know whether she's like one of the races of birds that, are sentient humanoid, like, the Acroca or that other one that I can never remember.
Kinku.
Kinku.
Does
I'm
that
gonna ask,
sound-
like, is she like a liaison for the tribe or something?
She does not look humanoid. Like, the picture is the best that I can get from it, but she does not look like, she doesn't have
She's like a
opposable
literal bird?
thumbs or anything like that. She looks like she's certainly grown some, possibly. I mean, you haven't seen what she's based on, but she looks closer to a literal bird that has taken on just some,
So it's like a
Human.
bird, but like it's maybe wearing like a necklace or something.
Well, yes, I mean, like, she is wearing, like, jewelry and things like that. I mean,
Well, I believe the picture made her look kind of person-y, you know?
Right. It's a little bit more personally than I would have liked, but it's not too personally. But like, you know, she wouldn't have like the opposable thumbs and whatnot like that. But should be just very much more bird-like.
As adventurers, who are we to deny someone the chance at adventure?
Of course.
You
Of
wouldn't
course, we
even
need to figure out how do we get out of here.
need to do an Arcana check. That would be something that you would know the existence of. It would take quite a strong druid to pull it off, but you certainly know of the existence of something like that.
All right. Two things. Well, first off, we're going to have to figure out a way to get us all out of here. But yes, I have no opposition to taking them with us. Plus, I have a bit of a theory. I think they may be awakened. Which is when you sort of instill intelligence upon an animal.
Bird?
So would this be in
So they
common
may just
as
literally
well?
be a bird. Yes.
Okay. We'll be back.
So they
in,
literally
like,
may have just been a bird.
15 seconds. I'm gonna use the restroom, refill my drink. Right back.
Ooh. They were saying before as
Maybe
well.
longer than 15 seconds.
From before. As in from before when they were a bird.
Are they not a bird now? They look pretty
Well,
birdy
kind
to
of
me.
That is true. Now they're like a bird person. A person. I believe someone said earlier.
The bison.
And people.
People.
One person, many people.
Indeed. I'm actually going to refill my drink since Grim's not here, so I will be right back. We continue our Bertson conversation later.
Ah. Oh no. No. Anyone excited for that Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft next week?
No. I haven't actually
No?
heard anything about it. So it's
Oh,
not the
really?
fact that I'm not excited, it's just I have no knowledge about it.
Yeah, it's coming out on like Tuesday. You know, like Curse of Strahd?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're making a whole like setting book for Ravenloft, all the domains of dread and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, there used to be one for 2.5, I think, or 3. There was a...
Yeah, I know it's an older setting.
Yeah, because it's along with, like, it was the same edition where I'm pretty sure they bought the Forgotten Realms and, I forget the other one, the desert one.
I exist.
Oh, Dark Sun?
Yes, Dark Sun.
Ah, yeah.
Dark Sun.
Dark Sun.
Isn't that weird D&D campaign where you eat the trees or something like that?
I can't actually remember.
Yes.
I'm just saying that's...
We were
that's
talking
where
about
all
trees.
those...
Like,
Yeah.
magic in that setting consumes, like, living things. So, like,
Yeah.
if
Oh, weird.
there's, you know... Like, that's why the world is a desert. It's believed.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's, you know, like, can we just, like, jump in a portal and go to, like, the Dark Sun campaign?
I think it just got
I would-
updated for 5th
Very
edition
nice.
not too long ago.
Yeah.
No,
or-
I think druids are just the impossible, right? Life magic that eats life. I don't even know how that
Super
works.
important. Like, you know, they tend not to cast a lot of magic because even their magic, I believe, you know, consumes things. But they're there to, you know, preserve these oases, etc., and see that
There's
you
the
know,
evil druids.
there are not people casting magic.
That's cool.
And then
But aren't there,
there's
like,
big
evil druids who cast
Yes,
mag-
and there are
like-
evil druids called defilers who like purposely go around and you know have shit up.
Yeah, this
I'm just
spun
gonna
off from
go-
what I was asking.
I'm just going to constantly cast Prestidigitation. Just make my voice 1 octave higher at all times.
Fuck this tree.
But the thing about it is that, the people know it as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just...
They know you're sucking that tree.
All right, but...
Let me get some
They're
seed.
gonna beat the shit out of you for doing it.
Back to the game. So, have we finished the conversation right here? Or did we leave?
We were talking. I'm sorry. What were we talking? We were talking about awakened birds and something
Yeah, we
about
were
a
just saying
shaman.
like, yeah, they could have been awakened by the previous shaman. They're sort of saying things about it being an experiment, and there was like a life before, and they remember other islands. I don't know. It's just a theory. Doesn't really matter too much.
How old is this bird?
Like, we can ask.
I mean, it can't be that old. It's just a bird, right?
I ask the bird how old they are.
15.
Pretty
15. That's pretty old for a bird.
Yeah.
Not,
Is this 15 in bird years
not
or
so
15 in
old.
human years?
No, of course not, of course not.
Live to 50 or so.
Oh, alright, that's much longer than most birds. Oh, well, actually not most birds. A lot of birds live like 100
What's
years
the
old.
average age of a bird?
And macaws and things like that can live to be like 85, 90 years. It's very impressive. In any case,
Or in 100 years. So I guess that's basically right in the middle.
it's a bit bit of a range.
To be fair, I did just Google bird.
Yeah, imagine starlings don't live too long, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, I do believe we can get you out of here as long as we can get out of here. Working on that part.
Good. You want to go build big ship, like you say before. You have to get tribe on your side. They very resources limited.
I mean, we don't. Well, how are we gonna build a ship? A big ship? Well, is that our plan? What is the plan again?
You
I
know,
don't think we have a
you
plan.
don't know how?
Well, this bird doesn't know common.
Huh.
It's not metagaming you, bird.
Oh, you gotta tell me when you're talking to you in common, or when you're talking to the bird in Vario.
Well, obviously I'm not gonna tell the bird, hey, how we don't know what we're doing.
I mean,
Hey,
we
hi,
haven't
hello.
really,
We are lost.
we haven't really discussed the getting off the island step next. We were only up to the exploring the island step. I mean,
I mean, surely
side of
building
the
a boat
island.
doesn't seem possible. If for no other reason than the snippy snip is out there.
I
We
mean,
need
yeah,
a raft, maybe?
I mean, the actual building itself, given time and materials, I'm like, a beyond skilled artisan. Nix is only 17, but I mean, 16 of those years were spent being an artisan. So creating something isn't such an issue.
Do like shifters not have a life cycle or something? They're just born ready to go?
Changelings. Oh, I was just being smart. Us, obviously, she had a child, like when she was a baby. But I'm just saying, like, her entire life has been an artisan. She can make stuff
Okay.
just fine.
Maybe
But
a
is
finger.
artisan the same thing as being a carpenter?
Being a shipwright, not
Like a-
quite. Like some
Not
of the
quite,
skills are
no.
similar, but
We can
It wouldn't-
find a botswain. Maybe he knows what he's
Yeah,
doing.
I'm not going to be making a galleon or anything like that.
I built as a ship of the line.
Well, we can all figure out a raft if it came down to it.
It's a raft. Surely a raft wouldn't get us off through those seas. I mean, I've been
It
on
might
seas
get
long
us
enough
to a
tell you.
different island.
At a risk. I mean, maybe a risk I could take is that you guys could take.
Give me
managed
2
to
levels,
wash up
and then I
one.
can take that risk. We
Does-
can lash me up. I can pull the boat along.
Does some quick maths. There might be 2 levels worth of villages.
How many levels worth
Oh,
of
no.
buildings?
Oh no!
The downfalls of having properly tracked XP.
We'll figure that out.
Can we like start wrestling the frogs? They say they breed them pretty easily around here.
It's gotta like punch rats for a while.
Yeah.
South Park styles, just spend 3 months killing boars.
We can make our food and water. We have all the time in the world.
What we
Wait,
probably want to do is try leave, not so village not see us as villagers, see you as villagers, so you can figure something out. I know some of the things from Das. It might could help you out if. And then she sort of shrugs because again, she didn't hear much of the plan.
Can a bird shrug?
Or this one
Yeah,
can.
they got shoulders.
Ruffles their wings.
Because they have shoulders.
Kinda. They got a bit where the bone connects. Right. So you. This is Druidic. So you suggest we leave very soon, so they don't make us one of them?
Tomorrow. Come back, village. Sure, but not stay long anytime.
I think we should one up them. We should just leave now.
Don't want
Like
to
tonight. We should eat.
use
and we
all
should leave.
resources.
Right. Yes. That seems like a good plan. Once we all reconvene, make sure to let Nyx and Blunderbear and all that know. About that we should be leaving tomorrow morning, and that should not be a problem. Thumbs up.
I just like to think that if Nyx wasn't in the middle of the play, she would have looked at Blunderbear and been like, "Ha, these idiots think you're sentient."
Come up
I
here.
mean,
Ah,
you would know that I don't think it's sentient.
No, of course not. I just like the idea that, you know, because for the most part, unless people were really perceptive, they probably would just think that Blunderbear had a mind of its own and did its own things, because it'd just be like light finger twitches that she can do while holding her arm to the side and everything that controls them. So it's like there's no obvious, clear, defined control mechanism for them. But
type into sentient. Why not Blunderbear? You know.
But I would also continue doing said plays until probably the meals were starting to be, you know, the frog was starting to be brought out of the
Sure.
pit or whatever.
And it does sort of
And then-
take, a couple hours, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
So by the end, your throat would be pretty parched. But, I mean, you're obviously very popular at this point. Afterwards, everyone wants to come up and everyone wants to, sort of clasp your shoulders and, you're pretty short, so...
Yeah.
There's a familiarity there that isn't really there, but that, they think is there. So, they're sort of grabbing you and they're jostling you one way or another. And, they think it's all in good fun now. And it's a great job. Yeah. But, I wouldn't have to tell you that it's not actually there. Like, you don't have this connection that they think they have with you now.
It's
They
kind of
do,
just like she
crouch
performed
down.
for a crowd and, she'll take the praise and everything. But then after, 5 or so minutes, she'd be kind of like, leave me alone. I want to get friends now and have something to eat and drink and chill out and not have to be 30 different characters in the space of 2 hours.
And eventually, though, the frog is sort of dug out of the pit and it's put on a wooden board, very similar to like the Wave Strider boards, and you would guess it would probably serve that purpose as well, just flipped upside down and put on there. And from there, it's like a Southern American pig picking type thing, where it's sort of carved up, the meat's put to the side, and then you can just come and you can get what you want. And And you're sort of milling around talking and all sorts of and that kind of deal. I don't know if you guys have like big pickings in New Zealand.
We call them either barbecues or potlucks.
Oh well,
depending
those
whether
are
it's-
those are different things.
Those are different.
Yeah, I mean it's probably like just a factor of we
I'm not
call
gonna make a barbecue.
we call different things.
Yeah.
If anything, it would be closely similar to our Christmas dinner.
Possible, or maybe like a hangi or something. I'm picturing because
Yeah,
But
I mean, other than a lot of
But the
ceremony
way you described it being cooked.
around the cooking, you know, it's a pretty casual thing.
Yeah. And yeah, during the meal, I would obviously ask the party what was found out, and
And we'll, expedite the whole we catch.
yeah,
Mhm.
I was gonna say that, like, I've been sitting here listening to it the whole time, so we don't actually
Right.
need to re-say what we've talked about for the past hour.
As well, at this point, Shafira is pretty well glued to you now as well. Like, wherever you're going, specifically Varial, she's in your shadow, basically.
Well, here's the thing we should discuss. Are we leaving tomorrow night, or are we leaving tonight? Bariel, of course, suggested we leave tomorrow. Or tomorrow morning, I should say. I suggest we leave tonight, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like, we must leave tonight, so if we want to leave tomorrow...
I
Fine
would
then.
prefer to leave first thing in the morning, personally.
I
would
mean, I
like
don't
to
sleep,
rest.
so... Like, take it for a grain of salt that, like, Scyther doesn't need to sleep, so he's like, yeah, let's just go now.
Let's go.
Not that it's been a particularly strenuous day, but at the same time, those of us that do actually need to sleep or sleep properly, which albeit is only a few of us, considering we have something that doesn't sleep and someone who only kind of spaces out for a few hours.
Unless they have walls in this village, which implies dangerous things beyond the borders, and I'd prefer not to have to worry about that all night.
I mean, they
Yeah,
really
that-
don't have walls.
That's the
Think
thing,
about it.
is like,
Didn't they? They have a wall.
is it pretty
They
much
have a
like
wall.
this?
They have
Is
a
it
front
just the
wall. This
single
water,
palisade?
as you can see, would have seen going around there, is deep.
Okay.
Like it drops off very sharply from where it goes.
Is it deep? It looks pretty shallow.
And either when we came in or I could go have a look now if needed, but would there have been like markings of creatures on the palisades or on the areas or anything to give clues of?
I mean, I'm sure
what
there's
might be
something out there. You don't need to go and look.
I mean, yeah.
No,
there's
it doesn't look
something,
like
but
if
any
they were
clues to what
attacked,
might be?
something would not have been attacking the walls.
Yeah.
Which is good because there's a giant hole in there, anyways. They
Right.
already have a
Like,
gate.
yeah, there really is no gate to it.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily think that,
Mhm.
and I didn't necessarily mean on the walls like the walls had been attacked.
Sure.
Just marks or tracks that would, kind of signify what had been around. I'd imagine something really big and dangerous would leave really big, dangerous-looking marks.
Mhm.
Do we see like Tyrannosaurus Rex when we walked in here?
Yeah,
You did
like
not.
if there were dinosaurs on the island or something like that, chances are we would have seen tracks at some point.
Maybe like a dragon? Was it like a beholder sitting around the corner?
Like, there's likely one, great big thing that sort of inhabits the island. It probably does not coexist with other great big things. You know what I mean?
The one apex.
You really think there could be dinosaurs here?
The island's pretty small. I think if there were dinosaurs here, we would have seen the dinosaurs.
I very
Well,
much
there
want to
already
see
is at least one
dinosaurs.
big thing here. And I'll like gesture out to the sea.
I like.
I'm not going to lie. If there's dinosaurs, I want to see the dinosaurs.
I like the idea of the beholder.
The island beholder.
Yeah. He doesn't have a cave or anything like that.
He's
Doesn't
got, like,
have
a
lair. He
tropical
just has
backpack.
he just has a tropical island.
In all fair,
Sipping out of Mai Tai.
Yeah. just total surfer dude.
What's up,
His,
brah?
his eye stalks hanging down like dreads.
Uh,
But I mean, if the end plan for the night was to stay the night, then yeah,
it seems to be to stay the night, so yeah.
I would.
I would prefer to have a nap.
Alright, well, let's say, so, of course we're saying that way, but are they actually going to offer us a place to sleep? Because surely it's getting kind of late.
It was implied.
We've all eaten.
It was already
Have
implied,
they?
at least. Mm-hmm.
Where would they have offered us to stay? Because one would assume people live in these huts. Do they have a hut that they offered us, or are they just like
You
sleep
are
on the
mostly
ground?
welcome to stay under the open air tent, but they're not offering like their homes proper to you.
Oh man, I can't believe it.
And here I thought
How
we were
dare
friends.
they?
I know.
But
well,
eventually,
you know what?
Sort of the pig picking, the frog picking, comes to an end. After staying up for a while, once it's clear that there's no more shows, people mostly go and retire for the night. It should be noted that you are not given your weapons back.
Okay, where do they go? Because I will certainly make note of like
Yes, I would have kept.
If
them.
you look
Where
on the
they
map,
put
you
the
can
weapons.
see
Yeah.
where they are on the map.
Yeah.
they. If I look on the map, I can see where they are on the map. I don't
well, if
know what you're
that's the
talking
case,
about.
You can
then
see
I'd
where the people
probably-
are, right? Who took your weapons?
Well, they're just taking our weapons to their house. They're not
they
putting
are.
them in a central location.
They are not.
Can I ask about that? Or like, can Varl ask about that? Because that seems like a very weird practice. Like, would they would
I
care
would
about our
imagine-
weapons, but they would also just take them to their house.
I would imagine it's a factor of they can look after them better if they can look after them themselves, as opposed to
Yes.
just some hut. I don't imagine they would have very many locking devices or mechanisms, let alone actual secure ones.
I mean, it's not necessarily about secure. They could have a rack. Something.
Each
It's
one
like, where are these
probably
people
has a rack
holding
in their
them?
home.
Yeah, like, okay. Could here's a question. Are there doors in these huts?
There would be some sort of, frog-like leather, flap covering. It wouldn't be a door proper. But if you were to look in, you would see an altar very similar to the ones that we saw back in the cave that housed or were home to the weapon. That the weapons are placed on when they come into their huts.
Okay, fair enough.
And I assume it's not like pouring down raining or anything.
No.
Then yeah, I would probably be over here on the shore somewhere, closer to the thing. Just so not in the complete middle of the village to get surrounded in the middle of the night.
Well, don't worry. I'll be. Actually, Mac, I would. It's what's today's weather, Grim? Do you need me to roll a weather roll?
Go ahead and roll a weather roll, and we'll see what the night's weather is going to be like.
Yeah. That'll dictate whether or not I sit under the tent or not.
Yes, it is pretty. And not only is it rainy, it's sort of thundery. It's windy, it's thundery, it's unfortunate. It's an unpleasant sleep because rain, obviously is coming in from the sides. But you aren't really offered anything better, frankly.
Oh, are the frogs like loving it?
The frogs are loving it. They are so loud. They're just croaking up a storm, and they're having red hot froggy sex. It's got to be said.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever like tried to sleep in like the woods where there's just like a shitload of frogs, but they are.
And these ones are
I love
nearly
it.
person sized.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Every second of it.
I live in a
like-
swamp. I love frogs.
Oh, I hate the frogs. They drive me insane. Like,
We
Like,
got
it's one
peepers
thing-
that go all night.
oh no, it's one thing when they're just like there when you're in your house. It's a completely another thing if you're like camping or something and there's frogs because they're just like in your ear, or, like in your bed with you.
It's really good. I actually really like going camping and the frogs.
Oh,
being
I
out.
hated it. In fact, I was camping once, and this is completely off topic, but I was camping once, and I laughed because the frogs were so loud. I was like, I don't need, I can't. It was so bad. Or
1,000
maybe I
free
did.
roommates.
I mean, what's the point in camping if not to go see frogs?
Facts.
I camped to not see frogs.
I'm
was
going
that
out
simple?
specifically not to find a frog.
To lie
I
on the
don't know
outdoor
if that's
floor.
called camping.
I mean, it is. You can camp without like shooting the
Frog
frog.
avoiding.
You could like camp. You could camp in a desert to like flee from the frogs.
I mean, that's
But
not one way to do it, but another way to do it.
that said, your sleep is still adequate. The village itself has been either designed or just lucked in such a way as nothing really gathers water on the land. Everything sort of pours off to the edges. So, other than a little bit of water, it's mostly dry. It is sort of a misty type deal, so I guess really it's not mostly dry. It's damp,
It was just
certainly.
Wait, I have two questions. One, wasn't the person who's had my stuff start with a K, and have they disappeared from like the
Yes.
face of the earth? Because there's no one with a K here.
Was that intentional or?
Someone just ran off with my weapons.
No, I have no idea what happened to them.
Hey, that's all I'm saying. They're gone.
They were here.
Now
I
they're
didn't
I can't
delete
see them.
anybody, I didn't think. There they are. They were just behind somebody else.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Fighting.
Noted. But specifically for tonight, since we're on an island, and since I have them, and since I'm, proficient in it, even though it's a bit stormy and all, I would sort of like whip out my cartographer tools, and I would like start charting like a map of like the island we've been on, and where we've been, and stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to sort of do anything about that, or if you just want me to state that I'm doing it, but
You can state that you're doing it. You do not know where you are right now, because you have not done so where there is clear sky. So,
I mean,
heads
well,
up
wait,
with
wasn't
that.
it clear earlier today?
It was, but you didn't, whip out your cartographical tools and
Fair enough. Fair enough.
earlier in
So
the day.
remind me when it comes clear tomorrow morning. But regardless, I make a map of the place that we're on, to the best of our abilities, obviously, of what we've explored.
So,
So currently, this is us.
nighttime.
Yeah.
Are we keeping a watch?
I'm awake, and I mean, well, I'm definitely distracted, sort of, with the tools and all that. That's not gonna take all night, so.
Right. So, Tythrin is pretty much literally all night. Tythrin does not sleep. Tythrin goes into a light trance. Variel goes into an actual trance, I believe, but only for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Also, I have no idea where Sharfer got to. Oh, are you in
Pepper's in this tree up here. Yeah.
sort of a bushy outgrowth?
We've lost our child.
I guess that's
Jeez, have you seen it?
a mangrove. All right, fair enough. Very far away from anybody else, it's got to be said.
Well, Sharper didn't. When you wake up in the morning, you notice Sharper's nowhere to be seen. There's a bunch of
CBS
frogs
cool.
over there.
I
They
totally
look
thought
ever
this
so
was a
slightly
tree.
smaller.
Totally.
I think it's like mostly a tree. I think it's like a mangrove tree or something like that. Just very.
Yeah, it's a
woody.
mangrove. It's got like the roots going.
Yeah. But yes, you could climb up into that tree. Do
I
you
think
that's
necessarily
pretty
want to
stout.
be in a tree in the middle of a thunderstorm? That's a good question. Maybe it'll come up.
I wasn't thinking about climbing it. I just
It's pretty
those,
wet.
those frogs could eat me, man. I don't want to be anywhere close.
You know what? He's got a good point. He's like, things hide in estuaries all the time. Frogs can't reach him.
Exactly.
He's like a baby fish. hiding in the
So let me
mangrove.
get a perception check from Tytherin and from Variel.
Bam.
I'll do perception. Oof.
So, Tythrin. At
So-
some point, you notice that Kess comes out.
Who's that? Okay, the lady who threatened to suicide sacrifice us. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say suicide us, but I think that's just a really bad way to say they're gonna kill us.
I'm going to suicide you. She comes out. She looks at you. It's obvious that she sees you awake. I mean, at this point, you know you're doing work. You're mapping out the island and all that. After she sees that you're awake, she watches you for a few moments, and then eventually goes back into her tent, or
No.
rather, hut. Variel, you don't notice anything. You're just a
It's the
blissful
rain, yeah.
thunderstorm. It's just pattering. You're one with nature right now. The frogs are croaking. Nashte, they're called. And you're just having a good
Nashte.
time.
You're
It's
loving
great over
those
here.
frogs.
It's great. Either way. Oops, I did not mean to do that. The storm eventually stops.
How long was she staring at me? Just out of curiosity.
A good
Like a
10
few,
minutes.
like a couple
Yeah.
of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just walked out and stood in the rain for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't speak in the same language, so I guess I wouldn't actually go up and talk to her. So yeah, I'll just let her.
Not only-
I guess if I
Yeah. Go ahead.
question, when was she sort of making it? Was she sort of doing any attempts to hide type deal,
Roll me
or was she
insight.
like?
No,
Sort of,
she wasn't like hiding physically like that.
yeah. Roll an insight. Sure, I gotcha. My insight's not that good, but this roll is.
She was when she was staring at you. She was seething with anger while staring at you.
I see. Okay. Maybe during the long awkward moments, because one would assume she sees me. I just point over the frogs and I say Nashte. And
I like it.
And
That
then
only
I'm
serves
like,
to anger her further, and she sort of like grinds her teeth together. It's
But after that, I would ignore her.
definitely an audible grinding. But then, as I mentioned, she would go back in.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Sometime as the day begins to break, the weather clears up, as the weather often does, since the weather changes 2 times a day. And the skies are now clear.
Nice.
The rest of the villagers are starting to stir, and it looks like they're starting to go about their day, which largely consists of taking wave striders, other things like that, and going obviously to the coast to fish or something of that nature. At some
What
point,
about the people who have our weapons, though? Because you say some people are going out, but are
they
specifically
would not
the people
go.
with our weapons?
Whatever their
Okay,
job
so
normally would be, their job is
It's to guard
watching over your
weapons. Got it.
weapons. Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I guess before, how early are these people getting up? At truly the crack of dawn, or?
Pretty much the crack of dawn, you know. You haven't
Okay,
seen
so
much
then,
in the way of
yeah.
like torches or anything like that. You certainly didn't see them being used. Obviously, there's no lanterns or anything. So
Yeah.
it's reasonable to, when there's light, these people, work. When it's dark, they stop working.
That's fine enough. Yep. All right. Yep. We all. So I assume everybody else is up as well with the party.
Yeah.
Ariel's up. Or if nobody wakes up, I would sort of wake them up. Except Sharfer, because I don't know where he is. So.
Sharfer.
It's hidden.
What would you
I would
do?
probably wake up.
Okay.
We have to roll.
Like, it's got to
see
be
if Sharfer
said.
died.
No, not really. People wouldn't be quiet going about, their business. This would be the start of the day. Conversations would start.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
I was sort of
Maybe-
thinking that even if I didn't just wake up, there would be enough.
hmm
Yeah.
But eventually, you would be approached by Grok and Drew Cox Ishk. That's good. You up? So
Where's Dr. Dre? he's right there. Sorry.
Searching island, then, yes?
Indeed. Well, I guess I'm not really here to talk, but I mean, communicated. But yeah, you know, we're gonna search the island. Basically, what he's saying when like he says, you know, we search the island, I imply that he is also, you know, taking. Well, we're going as well, type of deal.
Yeah.
So you search island, and he would sort of glance away over towards Grok. Stay away from left side of island, big temple. You know when you see that where Kubuka him be. Don't go to center of island. That Das's Grove. The scary thing lived there. And then again, don't go to north of island either. That where the birds they be nesting right now.
So don't go
Birds?
anywhere on the island. Got it.
Well, here's the thing. One, what is
South of the
DOS? Do we know what DOS is? So let's ask that first.
Das, previous shaman.
I mean, I'm just gonna like, we don't know who that is.
She very powerful.
Why would
Why
we
is she
not
not
want to go
here?
near her?
She not there. Das dead.
No.
But she set up
I'm
things.
sorry for what kind of things?
Kind of like, and he sort of makes a weird slurpy sound. And he sort of puts his arm up and makes himself look big and sort of featureless, as it were. Big. It
roll
mulched
insight or
things.
something?
Huh?
Can I roll like insight or something to try to understand what he's saying?
I mean, chances are you're not going to know unless you roll great.
Okay, fair enough.
It's
Do you actually want me to
intentionally
roll
sort of vague.
Okay, but you know what? Here, I'll do it.
I think I know where I want to go.
Yeah, you've got no idea.
It's good. No? Okay. I stare just completely blank.
Something that squelches.
The squelchy thing. I would call that more of a squishing noise, to be honest.
Fair.
So
Okay,
we have
and what about the birds?
birds.
The birds, and he sort of waves his hands towards Shafira. Like her. They nesting right now.
Are they? So they're like, are they? Like, you know, are they sentient type thing like her?
No, not pets.
Like a village? So wild.
Yes.
Okay. Wild birds. Interesting.
Right.
Let's see.
Not a lot
Well,
of safe.
so is
area,
any
then.
are any of these people coming with us? So are any of them coming with us, or are we? And it seems to imply we're gonna be searching alone, and they're gonna be searching there.
Well, you don't know right now. I mean, do you want to search alone?
It would probably be easier without them.
Out of character, I would
Really?
presume so. But that's sort of
Yes.
a thing you
Well, yeah,
probably
that's what
need
I'm
to
saying.
convince them for, too.
Well, I mean, I say that because they're telling us where not to go, which implies that we're going to be just going. You know.
Well, think of that as
Because
just
surely
an
they wouldn't-
extra measure of safety. They definitely don't want you going to these places.
Sure. But I would, you know, I mean, in character and all that, I would assume that when they tell us, hey, don't go here, that's because, you know, we're just going to be setting up around. So I would specify that. I would ask them, Like, are they going to go search?
When get chance, we take look, but first have to do foods. Today's chores first.
No, sir. That's fine. And I mean, at this point, does anyone have anything they'd like to ask them?
Not
Because
overly.
otherwise, if no one has anything else they'd like to say, I would say, if all possible, we would like to retrieve our weapons and head out our way to search the island for possible survivors.
Yes, it'd be
I
good.
agree.
Shafira at this point would sort of nudge you, Varial.
Oh, should I ask them? Do I need to ask them?
And she nods.
I assume we would just take the bird.
Just making sure this is all right. Would you mind if we took Shafira with us on our search?
He looks confused. Take Pat? Why?
Oh, she'd be a perfect scout.
Check, bluff, check, bluff, check.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a persuasion for that one.
Persuasion check.
Alright.
Persuasion check.
Would anybody like to give him a hand? Okay.
Nope, I'm not. I would
I
give.
mean,
Um,
I'd try to say something about
Because my solution to this would be I'd
Well-
literally pick up the bird and just walk out with it.
The bird's not small. It's got to be, noted. The bird is, slightly smaller than person size. The bird is bigger than
Oh,
Sharper.
it can't be heavy though. It can't be as big as it can't be heavy because it's a bird.
It's
so.
likely not
I
heavy.
can-
I mean, you haven't really
I can
tried to
scoop
pick her
him.
up, but
Can I pick her up?
you probably
You break.
could. And honestly, while it's clear that she wouldn't be wild about it, she wouldn't protest too much.
All right. Well, then in that case, I'm gonna go in when they're saying, can we take the bird with her? And all that, I'm gonna just scoop her up. Put her on.
Yeah, I mean, she would be certainly in distress and sort of squawking as well and trying to maintain her balance. Sure, she tell you places not to go.
Exactly. She'll know the boundaries. It'll be good.
Yes. You back tonight?
We'll see. We may be caught out. So we'll see.
We'll attempt. We'll try.
Okay. If not back by night, stay outside village. No come in.
Of course.
They just wake up in the morning and we've just set up camp like some gypsies.
So sometimes devils try to
whoa.
enter camp.
Devils?
Devils swimming.
Huh.
So we shouldn't
Breathe
come
the
in
water?
Probably. So don't come in through the water at night? Is that what
Don't
you
come in
say?
at night at all, I think, or else they'll think we're invaders.
Don't come in night at all. Yes.
But we come through the front door, not the water.
Just don't come in at all.
We'll just put up tents outside. It'll be fine.
Are we allowed to just stand at the gate sadly?
Yes.
Why not? It's a nice clearing right there.
I sure wish I could just go in.
Alas.
Yeah. All right, but would they once we say we ask for our weapons, I would actually walk out of the village to retrieve the stuff, and of course I'd take Shapiro with me. So I would stand out here, unless someone would stop me in the sense of one of the people to give me the weapon.
Would you let
I would walk out of the village.
Shafira walk on her own power, or would you?
No, I carry her. I carry her out of the
Okay.
Yeah,
So okay,
outside.
so
You
two
can put
things.
her-
Number one, eventually people
If she
would
squirms free or something.
come out and do that. I mean, she wouldn't squirm 3, but she would talk to Variel and very angrily, very hurtedly, She would repeat, "Not pet."
Yeah, yes, that was part of the ruse. Put her down, please.
Once asked, but I would sort of like put her down next to me.
There we go. Much better.
Then ruffle her head.
Apologies.
But yes, you would get your weapons back.
We were just taking. I'll be like to Var. I'll be like, well, it's just you told her to take her with us, so
Yes.
I took her with us.
I understand why you did what you did.
Not only that, but you also would get some breakfast in the form of, dried fish.
Not even a frog. We ate all the frog yesterday.
There's a lot of people eating that frog.
100 people eating one frog.
He was a big boy.
He was a big boy.
I'd like to. I didn't say it last night, but I did eat the frog.
You did eat some frog? Okay.
I did eat some frog. Yeah. Not that I can actually eat, but I made the awkward motion of attempting to eat frog.
All right. So
unnaturally.
Here we are.
Yeah. Outside the village.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So, all right, where should we head, everybody?
Well, the only place we know that's safe is what? The south and the east?
Yeah,
Most
so
of the
We've already
south.
checked the south. We've
Central.
already checked most of the east.
Oh, yes,
Because, I'd whip out my map that
They
I've
were
drawn.
talking about.
And again,
We should at
unless
least come
somebody...
with you.
And let me stop you guys right here real quick. Unless somebody tells me differently, I presume we're all speaking in common. So Shafira has
Yes.
no idea what we're talking about.
That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we're gonna be. Well, I mean, to be fair, we can only talk in common.
Varial can pass the messages on unless we tell
Yeah.
him not to.
Well, I presume
you
that's
like me to
not
do that?
happening unless...
Oh, well,
Oh,
I have no
well.
problem with like.
I have no problem if Varial as a character, because obviously the player doesn't need to be double saying everything. But
Yeah.
if as a character he doesn't mind doing it, then unless it's something we specifically say, hey, don't tell Birdie.
Yeah. Don't tell her we're gonna eat her, basically.
Yeah.
I'll
But other
pass the
than that,
messages along.
Feel
that's
free to
fine.
Okay.
pass the messages. Messages.
So here's a question, Graham. So it's the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I have two questions. One sort of a meta question. Would we know that there is like a coast to the east or something like that? I mean, I didn't specifically ask them for like a general island. Well, we got a general island size, 30 by 30, for
I mean,
example.
General
Yes.
topography you can usually figure out on small enough islands because, they're usually a enlarged landmass, which means...
You would get
Well, here's what I'm saying.
either
like,
from
if-
then or from Shafira now that the island is roughly a triangle.
Okay. Okay. So, like, in the sense that, like, because I don't want to be meta in the sense that I say, oh, there's no reason for us to go east because we know the coast is right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it
But-
wouldn't be too much of a stretch, I'd imagine, to think that we would be able to figure out that the coast isn't too far away anyway.
I do have one request before it gets too late. At some point during today, also, Grim, would you like to make me a weather roll before I do this? Actually,
Didn't you make one earlier? No, that was last night.
Well,
yeah, go ahead and make me a
right.
weather roll.
okay, 10-7.
It's a bit windy,
Okay, but it's clear out.
but it is clear.
At some point, I would like to sort of triangulate where we are in the sea.
Sure.
We don't need to do that right
no.
now. I don't know how long that would take, so to speak, because it doesn't specify.
Judging by the position of the moon and the sun, I'd guess at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it's not like the longest thing
High
in the world.
visibility right here. As long as you can see the sun and the stars, you can't be lost. So one would assume, we can figure out where we are because we can see the sun and stuff like that.
So, spoilers. And hopefully we don't crash.
This is gonna be a rough one, everyone. Hold on. I'll let you know when I've actually
Brace.
loaded said.
Brace for
Brace.
He's running back. One day I'll load in.
I understand.
I'm loaded in. I just haven't seen the black.
I haven't actually looked.
I will shift click down to this area, and we should teleport. We are
Oh, geez, you're
south
way off course.
of our location. We are way off course.
Oh, yeah, sure we are, yeah.
Where the
Oh
little
god, yeah,
green
look how far we
triangle-
got blown.
Last known location, we were right here, as you can see by Jonathan Jess.
We were so close.
We had to have been teleported or something. There's no way that we could
We
have
were
treaded
so
water
You
for
were
that long.
blown
That's-
around for several days. This is the last location before, the hurricane started. And then there were
had
about
that massive storm.
several days or so
Oh,
in between that
hilarious.
of drifting and floating.
Oh my
I
god.
couldn't see because I was just staring at like the darkness
Can you
the
see
whole
now?
time. Sort of. Oh god, we are far. Very laggy, but I'm sort of getting there.
Here, I can kill the music on this one. Perhaps that'll help.
I don't think that's gonna help.
I
think it's
know,
just
I
fake.
know.
Oh god, my page is not responding anymore. It's too powerful.
All right, I will move us back over. And I'll also be back in a minute.
The knowledge about where we have just like ended up, it's like frying my circuit.
Oh,
Yeah, like,
so
is it-
tragic.
Isn't each of the tiles like 10 miles though?
Oh god, my page actually just crashed. Something like that. Well, there's a scale at the bottom.
The
of-
scale at the bottom is about right, so that would have been roughly about 100 or 150 to 200 miles.
Exactly. That's so insane to tread water for. That's like,
But the thing
Well,
is,
no, that's-
there was that
that's-
massive hurricane for like many a days before we
Yeah, which-
even started treading water for 3 days.
true. Yeah,
Can't
so
blow
the
up
ship.
that far.
We probably
No.
got blown close to this island, which is why we got attacked by the crab.
Yeah, true.
True.
Just thinking about it, like, if the ship was destroyed where Jessups or whatever his name was, Token was, then yeah, we traveled like 100 miles while treading water. And that would have been
That can't
mental.
be, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but what it
Where
does
he
mean is
was
also we
before the
are
storm.
screwed in terms of getting getting back. There is nothing close to us besides our final destination, and it's
Well,
far.
nothing that I know of, anyways. There could be another
Yeah.
island out there.
Oh yeah, maybe we could desert island hop, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, my map's only have nothing though,
right.
because I do actually have a map, so I could whip a map out and like show us where we are. Everybody, I'm like, well, so according to the calculations, we're here, and then basically looking where Grim is, like 100 miles south or whatever. We can go through the whole like that seems like ridiculous, like how are we down here, yada yada yada, but and then I'd be like, well, there's a raft or something doesn't look like a viable way off, at least not in the sense of actually hitting any civilized charted land.
No, and I imagine none of us actually know how to make a boat or anything like that. Like a proper
mean,
boat.
Where we are on this map, but there isn't any land here.
Well,
you've just had to draw that on, like, if people didn't know, like, where even are we?
I mean, yeah, I'd basically point to the empty sea because my map certainly wouldn't
Right.
have this place on it.
So
like,
that
I
would
don't know how, like,
also not be the most uncommon occurrence. It certainly doesn't happen a lot, but it does certainly happen where you find an unexplored island.
yeah, especially this far off, And my map is specifically not like super up to date, like in the sense of, buying detailed maps. They're a little expensive every now and then for the nice ones, and I
Right.
would have just bought one and then been like, yeah, this is good enough for the next, decade or two. They don't find islands too often.
This is both exciting and terrifying.
But maybe we should just focus on the island at hand. And
Yes, I think we have to find the crew. I don't think we stand a chance of getting off without someone's boatsmanship expertise.
if only we had some boatmanship expertise. Well, here's the question: should we travel across Inland or along the coast?
Shafira, again, because we are translating, would speak
Yep.
up. If you're looking for good wood, they're forest in middle of island.
Well, I don't think we are necessarily looking for wood right now. I don't know what we're looking for, but I don't think raft construction is plan number one.
I think we need to look for surviving crew first. So perhaps we
Yeah.
crawl along the coast. Just follow the coastline.
I was thinking they said that thing that destroyed our boat was at a temple there. If
On
if
the
we were meant to be
west?
sacrifices, would it be a good idea to go look at the temple for survivors? Maybe they brought back for sacrifice.
Oh
I don't
God.
think. Well, I mean, the temple might not be. Maybe we could go north along the coast. A lot of the northern coastline hasn't been, northeast coastline hasn't been explored.
The north is where the birds are.
Well, the thing is, we'd be spending the rest of the day, heading back to the mushroom cave otherwise.
Well, we could crawl along this southeastern coast here. Looking for
We could,
camps and fires and things.
We could spend the day, but that would be about the whole day just exploring this area around us. Not that that's a bad thing, but something worth considering.
I don't think you're wrong in prioritizing the temple. Who said that? Temple?
That was me.
Oh, sharper.
Right. Anyone at the temple might be slotted for execution quickly.
I mean, but
That
they
is
said
if
they weren't doing
are
any
alive when they
executions,
make it
were they
there.
not?
Right.
They're not people at temple. Temple where God
No?
lives. Stay away from temple. If people at temple, God would eat.
So they're already dead. No, well, that's lovely.
Maybe we could just explore the coast around us really quickly. Be good. I mean,
Say
this
it's worth
is
a day.
away from the birds, which are supposed to be on the northern side, away from the temple, which is on the west side. So this area around us, we wouldn't cover too much ground today, at least in the sense of exploring the island itself, but we would see a lot of the area around us, at least.
We can clear off as much of the black as possible.
Yeah.
Just grid search everything.
Battleship style.
Yeah. But,
Sink my battleship.
Nix would more than likely be happy with any decision the party made, but I'm going
What's
to go
up?
AFK quickly and go have a smoke because I'm dying for one.
Well, here's the real question then. Are we fine sort of spending the night out here?
Yes.
Or did we
I
want
am.
to spend the night, or actually better yet, did we want to specifically not head back to the
Yes.
village? Or did we want to,
I don't think we should go back to the village now.
I don't think we should go back. Okay, so then it's fine regardless of what we do.
My question about
We got my
What's your
question out of that.
this,
Maybe you should
this
lead
one's
with
not
the
actually a
question.
terrible question that's not going to get us killed. I was just going to say, does the person who can do good berries still have good berry prepared?
I do, and
Yeah.
I have already casted it, so I have them ready whenever you're hungry.
Yep, we're not hungry now
Good.
because we had breakfast though, so.
That's all I wanted to know about staying out.
Yes, I cast it
Yep.
every morning, keep them in my pocket.
Alright. So how about we just head south then, and we head south until we hit the coast, and then we just follow the coast around.
Okay.
I like
so
it.
the next question is, at what speed are you going at?
I think normal speed, so if I can
Yeah.
So a total
But-
of
so just for
24 in a day.
So we got slow for 18 with boosted stealth. We can go normal at 24, or we can go fast at 30 with lowered perception.
Well, that
Now
just
that we know where the
allows
big
you to
spooky
stealth,
stuff is.
by the way. It doesn't give you bonuses to stealthing. It just allows you to stealth.
You told us they gave us a bonus to stealth.
I did not.
You should
I
do
suppose
they
anything
did.
over 0 is a bonus.
Well, yeah.
Ugh.
We'll go normal speed regardless, because we don't need our boosted stealth.
Yes, now that we know where the locals are and that they don't want to kill us outright, I think it's fine to go normal.
Right. Let's just head straight south again. I can guess, right? Straight south. It's fine.
Straight south.
Grim, reveal the way.
Yeah, I'm just on the wrong.
Reveal it to us.
I can't.
And we're looking for signs of survivors. So everyone, keep your eyes peeled.
I will tell you when to stop. Long story short, you have at least 12 hexes of movement before I say stop.
At least 12. What do you mean?
I mean, you have at least 12 hexes of movement before I tell you to stop.
Okay. Well, we move 1. Okay. 2. 3. Well, I guess technically it would kind of be more advantageous to sort of meta walk and. So this is 4 right here. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. How many survivors have we found so far, Gro?
You have found 0 survivors so far.
Alright.
You have run into several of the tribe members, though. It looks like the
Oh.
main bit of their fishing and whatever is this
Peninsula-ish area, or
yes,
whatever you
this
call it.
peninsula or whatever you would call it at the corner.
Yeah, I
This
gotcha.
is going bleak.
11. Well, you know, we've only just started. We're not even halfway through the day.
I suppose we've covered. It feels like we've covered a bit of land.
Alright, Grim, we've walked 12.
So I need a weather check.
Yeah, weather watching.
That's pretty good.
And one on my end as well.
Well, it turns out you just get sucked in by a whirlpool and die.
Well, what happens is that the rest of the day is foggy.
Oh, gosh.
Ah, no, now we can't see.
So basically, you know, it's not only is it a little foggy, it is incredibly foggy. We have about
So basically, all you
yeah, the
Continue?
tile that we're in is what's getting revealed for right now.
All right. Well, it looks like this is going to be a river up ahead, so I think we should probably hook to the bridge.
And Shafira would tell you the same as well.
Thank you, Shafir, for your bountiful knowledge. Okay, so we need 12 more. So 1. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. So I'm just going to walk here. So 2. Here, Grim. I'm just going to mark the path. We're going to. Actually, no, that's a lie. We're going to move. So it's 1, 2, 3 here, 4 here, and then 5. Let me know if I'm accidentally like wandering into the river or anything.
Yeah.
6. I'm going to try to not wander.
You are pretty much in the forest proper now.
Can we walk here to this one tile?
I do not believe so. Yes, you can.
Okay, we're gonna go here because we're trying to like follow the river.
Mm-hmm.
All of the drinking goes.
Is this one valid, or do we have to go north?
That is not valid.
Okay, so we head north.
I feel like we're running out of space about now. We crossed the bridge. How much did that take? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, we're
5,
not. We're
6,
only-
7, 8. Oh, we got like 4 more, I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we still have. I mean, I'm keeping track. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're at 8 right now, so
Solid.
this would be nice.
Found
And
anybody yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I think they're all
11.
dead. I think they're all dead, guys.
And here we go. This is it. This is number 12 right here. How many people we find right
We have
We are
not found
definitely in the Birdland.
anyone.
Oh, well, that's 24 movement, so the sun's going down.
Sun has gone down. Another check, if you please.
Weather, you mean?
Yes. And another one from me.
Ooh, strong winds.
So, what's going on right now is something unpleasant. It is an incorporeal wind. Basically, the wind itself is going through physical objects, clothing, armor, walls, and it feels almost as if yourself. What it is rather unpleasant feeling, but past that, it carries smells, obviously through things, but past that, it's not really detrimental in any way, shape, or form. But it is certainly unusual weather.
This wind sure is unusual weather.
I don't like the way it feels, like moving through me. I'd never wanted my guts aerated.
Are we actually? I thought we were on a beach, Graham.
We are on a beach. I don't have
Look
another.
at the bright side.
Yes, we were on a beach, or no, we're not on a beach. Because if we get the choice of camping, I'd rather camp on a beach, to be honest, than in the like inland bit.
So, what we can do?
Do you not like have a beach map prepared?
We have lots of beach maps prepared. They have other reasons for existing. Yeah.
I see. So do we want to? We can just pretend this is a beach or something, basically.
This is the.
Okay.
We can like put a little. Ooh, it's the.
Yeah, I
ocean.
gotcha. So let's just say the beach is to like our east, so to speak. So like these we'll just say like 2 tiles
Quickly,
here.
someone write the word sand.
But what we
I
do
should
see
get
on the
that.
beach, of course, is something similar to what we saw the last time we were on the beach, which is, a multitude of these tiny little crabs.
I don't like.
I see. Are the crabs here to stay?
They sure look like they're here to stay.
How many crabs can you get rid of? Like do they just keep coming back? Like if you try and
They would just keep
take
coming.
crabs
Like there
out?
are so many crabs that you could just be stomping around and just crushing dozens of crabs, and you wouldn't do much to the crab population.
All right, hear me out. How about we walk?
So I'm gonna spend all night farming crabs for XP.
Wait, oh god, we shouldn't. Seems like a terrible idea.
All right, hear me out. How about we walk inland until we find the first clearing in the woods, and we camp there?
That sounds like a good idea. I don't like these crabs.
For these crabs, they could be great experience.
They could
How much
also get us in a great deal of trouble with the tribe if they saw us murdering their god's children.
I am back. Sorry that took so long.
That's a
Alright,
bit of a
well,
suspicion, I suppose, but it's a crab god, tons of crabs everywhere. I'm putting
Maybe.
2 and 2 together.
Maybe. All right, I'll catch you at 4:20. So we were walking along the outer Graham, if you can switch back to the big map really quick.
Yes.
We can just because I don't know how much 420 saw that. So yeah, we walked around all the outsides you can see, and then right up here, it got really foggy, so we had to turn around, go up the bridge, and we could only see 1 tile, and then we found nobody, and now we're up here.
Ah, cool. Not much then.
Yep, and we were gonna camp on the beach, but then Grim didn't have a beach map, so now we're camping at the nearest clearing in the forest.
For the record, regardless of my having the beach map, these crabs would still be there,
But you know what? I could fend them off the whole night. Alright, you can go back to that map, Graham. Truly, I could spend my whole night just stomping crap.
We're just grinding experience over here.
Oh god. How much is a crab even worth?
It's
Quarter?
negligible. I mean,
Quarter experience per.
It is
But
10.
if you kill enough of them,
Yeah.
I mean, 10's quite a bit.
If you got 30 crabs, that's almost a level up.
If you got 30 crabs, I think you needed to go to the clinic a long time ago.
Look, all I'm saying is that when you guys wake up, I'm gonna be level 10.
like all I'm saying is there's infinite crabs here. We could all be
Start
level
poison
20
spreading
by tomorrow
crabs.
morning.
Exactly.
No, because there's still
Alright.
resources. Because you can only count it as, quote unquote, safe XP if you don't have to put yourself in harm's way, which is ranged attacks and stuff. Ranged attacks and magic.
Is that a thing? Safe XP?
Well, no, but I'm
Oh.
just talking from a talking standpoint. If you wanted to to look at it that way, you can't essentially make 20 levels of XP in one night because of the resources it would take. Even if it was something, negligible, even in amounts of damage. If 10 of these things bite you at once or snip you at once, that's 1 point of damage, and you take that 18 times for me. That's 18 damage, 180 crabs, 1,800 experience. That's only in the first 2 levels. I've already died.
You have died to the many crabs.
I did the math because I was curious. You'd have to kill 35,500 crabs to hit level 20.
That's a lot of crabs.
Hey, Grimace has 35,000 crabs on the speech by some chance.
Just a crab
you would have to take
aside.
a while counting them.
All right. Well, we so you know.
Yeah, so if you will pull your
Our
tokens on.
dear-
Beer
I
cats.
can't actually ping this map for some reason.
Wait, you cat.
I think that's a me thing, though, not a you thing,
I think
Grim.
that might be a you thing. And what we are going to do is we are going to turn on the advanced fog of war. You'll have to give me a second because again, I didn't quite.
Advanced fog of war. I don't want. Why do we turn on the advanced fog of war, Grim?
Wow.
Can't think of any reason why. Seems wholly unnecessary, truly.
Well, it was foggy earlier.
This seems like a lot of work for what is clearly going to be a peaceful night in the woods.
Clearly.
It's a nice camping experience.
I don't know why I can't select that. Oh, I will.
Oh god, it just went completely pitch black.
Yeah.
Guys, everything went dark. What just happened?
So I just got. Now it's gone again.
I closed my eyes. I can't see anything. I
Fraser,
forgot how to open them.
you should check my PM, Fraser, because that will dictate what I can do.
Are you guys like trying to overthrow the party? Is it me and
No,
Varial
no.
versus you two?
This is a out of character real life thing, but I may have to leave early if Fraser is busy tomorrow, so I can go see him tonight.
Are you gonna get him sick as well?
Yeah, man, gonna go cough in his face.
Based.
It is tomorrow, Friday. No, I don't think I'm busy tomorrow.
Ah, sweet then. Let's keep playing.
Tomorrow Friday? Oh.
I'm plenty of time to get you sick tomorrow.
Yep.
Alright.
Damn, you guys get to be in Friday already? That's awesome.
Mhm.
We're going into Thursday. Terrible day of the week.
I can't see anything, by the way, Grim.
I know, give me a second.
Probably
Give me a second.
intentional, but off this one. I can see only myself.
Everybody.
Yeah, I can't see.
Oh, here. You can't see yourself, so. Can people see down?
I was gonna say-
Can people see that
Yep.
this campfire is radiating light?
Yes.
Can I?
I was also gonna say you don't need to worry about Blunderbear's vision
I can't actually see the camera.
technically. Though I guess you do. Although not when he's
Are
not
you
going to be
sure
making
you
a light.
can't?
No, I can't. I can try reloading really quick.
Yeah, try reloading.
See the
Hey,
light
that
of the
was
fire?
Like I can see myself, mind you, and I can see you moving me, but I can't see the campfire.
Yeah, we should see the
I
campfire.
don't know if that's okay. I can now. It
Okay.
was probably something to do with the fact I couldn't ping.
Could be. Just an issue with you.
Yeah.
Again, it being such.
Sometimes
If there's one thing that I'm good at, it's having issues with roll.
Yeah.
I swear your internet is from the 90s, sometimes AM.
So, we start to set up camp for the night. Do people have tents? Are people in tents?
It's pretty intense night.
I do have a
I do
bedroll.
not and am not.
People do not have tents.
People do not have
I don't
tents.
think anyone has the tip.
Will
All right.
make my little bedroll here, though.
Yes. So I am presuming that we are sleeping where we are sleeping, unless I am told differently.
I'd recommend that Nick sits a little closer to the fire. But other than that, I mean, stay where you need to. Hey, Grim, can you bring Chester over?
Oh my gosh, yes, I can bring Chester over. Oh, this terrible abomination that is Chester.
Don't make fun of Chester.
He's beautiful. Don't bully him.
Wait,
We are nothing without him.
He just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. And harder and harder to move.
Listen, he's hungry.
I'm trying to think
guy
of how I
lost
could
his
just
leg.
make that into the token. Like,
Yeah.
copy that onto Paint or something.
You just
Oh,
trace
actually,
it, I guess. Like take a snipping tool.
snipping
Oh,
tool.
snipping
Yeah,
tool.
I was gonna say, let me
Yeah.
just get the snipping tool out. He'll always be on this grass blotch background. Though.
That's fine.
You go, I can post it. in the
Yeah,
Discord.
and then just give me another character sheet, Grim, and then I can just drag him every time.
we can copy it.
That's amazing. That is actually amazing.
So I have a question about elves while we work on the token for Chester. But when they go into trances, I always assume they just sit there with like their legs crossed and go like,
That is basically what they do for trancing, yes.
Okay. Well, I asked because you were whipping out a sleeping bag.
Well, it's a nice thing to sit on.
Fair. But you
The
also
ground
kind of
is
do your
hard.
inside of it, so I thought you were like going inside of it.
No. I'm just like sitting on top of it.
I like it.
If I wanted to lay down, I could. Then once I'm
Wow,
done
there's a
trancing.
giant frog.
That was a mistake, obviously.
Wait, what is this? What are they called? Hold up. Nashti.
Nash days.
I could
You
lay
mean-
down if I wanted to, I suppose.
You mean nasties?
Rogue.
So, are we keeping a watch?
Nope, no watch. Not a single one.
I like it.
No one's doing it.
We're all gonna die out here.
I'll take second watch.
Obviously, I'll take the first watch since everyone else is in a trance or sleeping during.
Okay.
Which I guess if we're doing it by 2 hours, that would technically be 2 watches.
Look, I don't. I'm not really worried about like the hours we're watching or whatever. I want 4 watches since there's 4 of us. We could take more than 1 watch if we want. Doesn't matter. I just want 4 watches.
You're
I'll take the
welcome.
second two. If Tythorn takes the first 2, I can take the second 2, and that would cover it all.
Yeah. All right. Well, the first hour is going swimmingly.
All right, hold on.
Swimmingly.
All
You
right,
just die.
first watch. Roll a perception, please.
I already did. But you know what? I can roll another one if you want.
You can roll me second watch if you wish.
Oh, sure. I'll do second watch. Even better.
So your 2 watches go by, relatively calmly.
I mean, nothing ganks us as far as I'm concerned.
Nothing ganks you as far as you're concerned. There's a lot of strange noises. And the strangest the most predominant noise that there is, out on this island, is the sound of birds. And birds are pretty much everywhere. As we start to sort of get into the woods where we are, even though we're just on the outskirts, there are just feathers that litter the grounds. Wherever this is, it's pretty
Sasha,
obvious
by the way. Like, we need,
that
like,
this
what's her
is
name?
sort of. I'll get it.
The bird
I'll get
lady.
her. That this is sort of certainly a major migratory path and stop on it. So they're not just like the same feathers that you see constantly. There's a lot of different feathers and a different variety of feathers as well.
I see. Well, maybe since there's all these bird feathers, maybe we could fly out of here.
I mean, if we could just find a way to fly.
I have a question, Grant. Do airships exist at all in any capacity? Maybe not
You
necessarily
would not
big,
have
but
heard of
maybe-
airships existing.
Okay. But like maybe not in a big sense, but in like a very rudimentary, like a hot air balloon type deal. No.
Something like that may exist,
Okay.
but it certainly wouldn't be, commercially available for
Um,
travel to, people.
Well,
If
I
it
don't think
did
you'd use a
exist,
hot
it
air
would be,
balloon to travel.
huh?
I don't think you would travel the seas hot by hot air balloon, obviously. but-
Well, probably not for long. But chances are,
yeah.
from what you would know, the wind is too much of an issue for airships to really.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, without some sort of impressive tinkering and counterbalancing. So,
All right. Well,
Variel, you're going to take the next 2 watches?
we don't. No, I'm not like stabbed, while I'm doing the watch.
You
or
are not
anything.
stabbed. Not a single time have you been stabbed.
Not that you would notice
I
with
mean,
a
that's
1.
technically a lie. I've been sort of stabbed. I've been punched once in my life. Probably stabbed a couple, but not tonight. Tonight is not one.
Well, Variel, you certainly notice that there are several large things coming towards you.
I will yell for everyone to wake up.
What do you yell?
Approaching some things. Wake up, wakey, wakey.
I'm already awake, but I see nothing.
Are those what I think they are?
I stand up and turn the wrong
What?
way.
What is it? I'm trying.
And then we roll for initiative.
Alright. I almost rolled for my bed. Hold on.
I rolled to my
A roll
bed.
to get a good night's sleep.
I rolled to leave. I think I added myself on the. Yeah, I did. I added myself to the initiative track for once,
Holy shit.
Ooh, we all did it.
and I did so good.
So good. Tythrin,
Big froggy.
you are up first.
Oh, I'm just prepared. I'm ready. I see the frogs. I was looking the wrong way, but Variel, from like underneath his bedroll, has pointed me to the direction. And I'm ready.
Shoot, I should probably.
I love how Variel's bedroll is also 10 feet tall, like he's a Goliath or something.
It's really
Like to have
stucky.
space.
Interesting.
That's good. I'm ready. And you know what? Just in case anyone was not asleep, I'm gonna shoot this pistol because they won't be asleep afterwards. And I haven't got to shoot the pistol, and the frogs are actually kind of far away. How far are the frogs out? Really quick. Oh, actually, I can reach them. Never mind. I'm not shooting the frogs. I'm gonna kill them. I think I can move 20, 30 feet.
Oh,
I
you can
can't.
reach them melee-wise.
In that case, I'm just gonna go run into the darkness.
Deliver
like
yourself.
How I actually don't seem to apply to the darkness. Like
Mhm.
maybe that's just a me thing. I'm running up. I'm just like charging it.
You're not emitting light
See, I'm
right
gonna
now, is why. You're just
Yeah.
going from the light from the campfire.
Oh yeah, I know. But the frogs are darkened for me, but I'm not darkened. That's all I'm implying. At least for me, I'm not.
Yeah, you're darkened on my end.
Yeah, I thought it might be fine for you guys, but
You should be in dim light.
Yeah. You're in dim light for me. I can see you, but it's not as bright as the closest.
oh yeah, I see that I'm in dim light as well.
Yeah.
But like again, for me, I see myself just fine. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, which makes
It's
sense.
same for us.
Yeah.
The,
It does
the,
make sense.
The black starts here,
Yeah, it does. I could.
and then
Alright,
the bright is there.
but I'm going to charge harpoon in hand, and I'm just gonna point it straight to Frog, and I'm just gonna spear it like in a fantastic way.
It's a hit.
Yeah, of course it's a hit.
So now none of the
Also,
other
they-
stuff applies since you're using it as a melee weapon, though.
I believe it does apply, actually.
I mean, if you
Technically,
want
we
to,
haven't
I guess
used
we
it.
could make it. Then, God, that is a solid
But I believe
hit.
technically we haven't actually used the harpoon, and Lord knows we spent 50 years talking about it. But
we did.
I was always under the assumption that it would just simply apply because you're stabbing them regardless. It doesn't matter if it's thrown or stabbed. If they fail, it gets embedded. That's what I was always under the assumption of. But obviously you're the DM, so if you don't want it to apply normally, that's fine by me. But
I'd imagine it would be something that you don't have a say in. I mean, the whole point of a harpoon is that, it's got
it
that hook.
embeds.
Yeah, and it embeds. It's not something the thrower controls. If you didn't want it to embed, you'd use a normal spear.
Yeah, that's why I have my flail with me as well.
Sure.
Because that-
We will go ahead and say, look, I don't remember all the things that it even does, but it's
Holy
certainly
shit, this is the most like nimble frog in the world.
a 19 and a 1.
He does that thing where he like pancakes himself and like it just sort of like slides right out of him. Or maybe I stab him in the mouth, so it like. But regardless, he does take 10 damage still.
He does.
Yeah, that's still a good amount of damage.
The other one will come up and will bite you.
God, oh god, oh god, it doesn't hurt me.
He
He's
will
just
miss.
sort of like awkwardly licking me, or it's like, do frogs have teeth? Do these frogs have teeth?
These frogs certainly appear to, if not teeth, have sharp cartilaginous ridges to them.
They got like those plates.
Uh-huh.
I don't think any frog has teeth.
I
So
think
maybe
some
they just have like the
frogs
chomp
teeth. I
plates.
think like a Pac-Man frog has teeth.
Do
God, do they?
frogs have teeth? This is the first Google search right here. Oh wait, here we go. There's a thing. They have two minor teeth. It's really weird. Here, I'll post it in Discord. They have this weird like tooth thing.
Vodari?
Weird.
But otherwise, no frogs actually have teeth. It looks like.
They have, it says they have maxillary teeth there.
Yeah.
Those look like teeny little teeth to
Oh
me.
yeah, they do have little. They have little baby teeth.
And
You're right.
Vivarian. The maxillary teeth will just be to make sure things don't just slide straight out of their
Yeah.
mouth, probably.
Yeah.
He's just sort of gumming me, anyways.
I mean,
First one
gumming
is
you, it's gumming you is probably still strong enough to snap someone's arm.
Well, it's not
Were
stabbing
it to
mine.
have
It's just
hit.
Yeah, were it to have hit.
Varial, it is your
Yeah.
turn.
Right. I would like to use my bonus action to wild shape into a bear.
Okay.
Which I cannot make my token large, but it is of the size
Can you
large.
not increase your token size? Interesting.
Should be able to.
Not that I'm aware. Oop,
Whoa!
there we are.
What just happened to Varial?
He's a bar.
I'm
Oh,
a bear now.
Oh god!
I gotta use my bear speed to get over there.
Mercy.
Because I get 40 feet as a bar.
Oh god, I'm being
Um,
flanked.
Over here's a bar. And then the one directly south of me,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to target with a bite,
Mm-hmm.
which is a d20 plus 5.
Kind of bear.
You like say like it's
18?
morphin time when you like turn into a bear.
Nah, I just ripple into a bear. I don't got a catchphrase yet. Does an 18 hit?
Sure does.
Okay, so that is 1d8 plus 4. 10 damage. Is he still up?
Sure is.
Alright, then I'm going to try and make an attack with my claws as well. Is another d20 plus 5. 13.
It's a hit.
Alright, 2d6 plus 6. 2d6 plus 6. I'm going to use bear a lot. I should probably just type this into the... Sorry, that's plus 4, not 6, so 13.
Either way, that is enough to bring down Froggy.
Oh, these frogs
Alright,
don't have all their
that's-
teeth then.
That is my turn.
Don't have all that much HP. I mean, they still technically had, 30 plus HP, 40 plus HP.
Nyx, it is your turn.
Oh, did he do
I
2
will-
attacks?
He did.
Or
He did.
Okay.
Yes.
2.
Okay, I thought that was one attack of like 13.
Oh, but
Oh no,
I guess
yeah,
it
no,
should be
the
matched.
10 and the 15. No, sorry, I misread that. The 18 and the 13 were the to hits, and the 10 and the 15 were the damage. So yeah, 25 HP.
Okay, that's more than I figured.
Yeah. I will bonus action to move
Excuse me.
BB where I can. Alright, cool. There. Do you want to move that dead frog for me, Grim?
Yes.
And then my action. Boo.
12 is a hit.
Oh, 12's a hit. Nice. I did not think that would be a hit. Well, it's only two bludge damage though.
Bludge.
And
The two bludge.
yes, that's. Oh, and I guess I have my own movement, but I'm feeling pretty safe where I am, so I'll just leave it there.
Mm-hmm. Sharfer.
So now, can I dash that way, or do I have to move around the campfire?
You would have to move around the campfire. Or you could take some damage.
Take a dexterity roll. Do the acrobatics.
Yeah, dude,
Get over it.
flip over the fire, like.
Take the chance of the damage.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll use a bonus action to dash over to here. I'll jump over the fire on the way.
Okay.
Maybe jump into the fire. Who knows?
You're gonna have a
Roll
DC
for one.
15, and you're gonna take the same damage from like the bonfire spell, which I believe is a 1d8.
That's fine.
Is that if I fail or just?
Well, yeah,
I take the
that's if you
damage.
fail.
I'd imagine it'd be half damage if you succeed.
But yeah, I mean, you're still going through.
Yeah. You're still getting licked.
Oh, so good.
You still managed to do it though. You do take
Valiantly fly over.
half damage, rounded down, so 3.
Ow, that hurt a little bit.
As he sort of just barrel through the flames.
Alright, use my bonus action to dash down here. Try and get that juicy flank on a frog.
So if you are doing that, it is going to take an attack of opportunity against you.
Okay.
Okay.
I like is like Sharper like leaving like a trail of like fire behind him now.
I mean-
that hits.
He got an 18, so I like to imagine like most of his body cleared the fire, but he just forgot to lift one of his legs up, so he just kind of dragged one foot straight through the middle of the fire.
So you are grappled.
Oh
The
god,
frog
Sharper's
does
gonna
have
eat
you in his mouth.
Oh god! Let's eat my boy.
Okay.
I've forgotten what grappled means.
You cannot
save
move away, basically.
Against it? Does he get a save against it to stop it grappling in the first place, or is it a
No,
guaranteed
that's
grapple?
just it's a guaranteed grapple on the hit.
Ah, yeah.
Yep.
Old sticky tongue.
So I can still attack from here
Yes.
while grappled.
I believe it would be at disadvantage if it's not against what's.
I'm sorry, I do not
Grappling.
understand.
It's just I'm
No,
grappled.
to
Grappled.
To what I said.
no, to what Varial's typed to me.
Ah,
Oh, you can like right click a token and it's like layer like to front to back like. That's all I meant.
Yes.
Oh, because he's got the bear ears. I like it.
Yeah, I'm trying to put barriers on it. Yeah.
The token stuff looks pretty weird. It doesn't necessarily.
I've gone. Yeah, I've tried to flank for hopefully.
Hit anymore.
Sneak
I
attack.
can't layer you behind, or I'm sorry.
It's working fine for me.
Muy tragico.
That does not. I mean, like, yeah, I see the ears and stuff on you. But the
I
8
can't
does
see
not
much, but
hit.
that's fine.
No flanking bonus.
Oh, I guess you would be flanking. Yes.
I'd be going for that one. I did try to come down to flank.
Okay.
And I was wrong. It is literally just stops you moving.
Yeah.
Just
It doesn't give you disadvantage or anything. So that's not even that bad.
So for 6.
Sneak. You're trying to sneak away from the frog.
I've tried to get advantage on it to sneak attack the frog. I don't know if it worked though.
So,
With before, probably not.
well, that's like damage.
Oh, is it?
Wait, why are you sneaking?
Sneak
It's
attack.
not-
You get sneak
it's not-
attack
it's
whenever
not
he would
actual
get
sneaking.
advantage.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So he gets sneak attack, advantage from flanking when that trigger, and plus being engaged with an enemy in 5 feet. So like Tythrin being engaged with that frog, wouldn't that give sneak attack? Or am I stupid?
It would, yes.
That was why I came on this side of that frog and took the attack of
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yes.
So this already hurt frog is going to attempt to attack the little one.
No. Sorry for
That was very stupid of me. This was very stupid of me.
No. No.
Who knew running into all the enemies was a bad idea?
And like sort of the frogs both have you
Oh,
in their
no.
mouths. They're sort of like wrestling and pulling at you at this point. They are both grappling you.
Drawn and quartered.
They're about to snap me in half.
This frog would attack the smaller of the two, which I guess is Blunderbear.
Blunderbear is not a real bear.
Which I believe a 15 misses. Shafira will come up.
Like Squawk.
She is incredibly fast.
These two can't attack. I've got them distracted.
And
To be fair, they can't actually attack anything else while they're eating you, so.
Yeah.
An 11 hit, Grip?
ooh.
And
Yes,
oh my god, she
yes, it
does like.
Well, she didn't crit. I mean.
Oh, yeah, because the second one crit. Okay. Oh, bless her. Like, my god, she rolled on an 11, she does +8.
Tythrin.
Hi. I see that they are now eating this halfling from Fool she just ran. It like jumped into their mouth for some reason. So, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't think it actually mattered because they both rolled pretty high, I believe. What did the other one? It doesn't matter at this point, but I forgot to use protected. I could have technically put disadvantage on one of those frogs. I wasn't thinking.
Well, isn't
so
it when they are within 5 feet of you?
No, if it's within the thing of 5 feet. Also, did one of these frogs actually die?
Yes.
Oh my god! I didn't
Shafira
realize that.
killed the one.
Holy fuck! That's amazing. But yeah, no, it's as long as the enemy attacking is within 5 feet of me. It's not actually the person being attacked. So like, if Sharper's being attacked by a frog, but the frog is next to me, Sharper doesn't need to be. Just the frog.
Okay.
Like, actually, there's a much easier way to saying this, which is just posting the protected.
Right.
There you go.
Yes, they have to be within 5 feet of you.
Oh, the person as well has to be within 5 feet of me?
Whenever a creature that you can see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you.
Yep.
Okay, I took it as
the
with
target
if
has
the
to be within 5
creature
No.
is in 5 feet. Okay,
Your
the target.
ally has to be within 5 feet.
I think
see,
that
I see
means
the
I think that means the creature can just be in your line of sight, like very far away, as long as your ally's within 5 feet.
Okay, I got it then. Okay.
Oh, does that work on range attacks then? Oh yeah,
I
it
guess
would, wouldn't it?
Mm, yeah.
I would suppose as long as you see it.
You're sort of like,
Yes,
get
that's the
down,
trade-off,
Mr.
I guess.
Well,
President.
in that case, I will shift 5 feet onto Dead Frog,
I'll just move the dead frog.
and I will stabby this frog again. In case and since I have the harpoon out, I won't bother. Just switch.
That's a hit.
Which 18? For 5 damage,
It's
which probably
not
won't take it down. Yeah.
My glasses have
But
pollen
it
on
is
them.
embedded.
Nice. But that doesn't do an actual extra damage or anything.
Nope.
So
The giant frog is going to continue to bite Sharf.
that one's dead. That one's the dead one, is it not?
No, this is the living one.
Yeah, is that the other one?
Yeah, when I
Oh.
hover over the initiative tracker, it highlights the dead one.
You're right. It is the dead one. Vario.
Alright, hopefully this moves everything, not just the me.
Uh,
I'll attack the one due south again. Why not?
mhm.
I now have bear things in my stat block, but refreshing the page closed my sheet. Hold on. There we go. Bear attacks. Bear bite, bear slap.
Bear slap.
The bite hits. The slap does not.
Alright. Bite does 10 damage. Thank you kindly. And that is the whole turn.
Next, it is your turn.
I will make an attack with Blunderbeer.
Mm-hmm.
I won't pep everybody.
That's a hit. Not only is it a hit, that's enough to bring it down.
In that case, I will also move BB there to give basically everyone who attacks that poor frog advantage.
Sharper.
I believe it only gives me advantage.
Well, this one's still grappling me too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he needs to die.
There's only one. This is the last part. He only has like 5 HP or something.
That's a
He can't
miss.
have that.
Oh, it is
Yep,
a miss.
and
You
now-
don't have advantage.
And now watch as every single hit we make against it misses.
This one frog shall take us all down. That's okay. I can use protected now. Now that I know how it works,
You're
it
fine.
doesn't.
Yeah. Let's see if Shafiro will finish it off. She'll probably
Nope.
go around like that, actually. 'Cause she certainly
For
has the
flanking?
movement to do so.
Does flanking give advantage?
It does.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, but it is something different, like 3.5.
Yeah.
All right. That is it. Sharfer. You were nearly swallowed.
Very nearly.
And I'm a little sad that you did get swallowed.
Honestly, same here.
You know, honestly, Fraser, I think you need to not play rogues.
You play them very
Maybe you're right.
aggressively.
Yeah, you
Could have had his, could have
you
had
know,
his Drax
honestly,
moment though.
I think you need to go back to barbarian. You were a good barbarian.
You are a good barbarian.
But we have managed to, sort of destroy these giant frogs, and we do see that they are, voracious predators. I mean,
I'll
while
eat a halfling.
we weren't exactly in super danger, Sharfer got down to half or so.
I butcher every last piece of meat off those fuckers.
Oh no.
And that's going to take you quite a while, like all night.
It's fine. I got a 21. Not wasting a crit.
Okay.
You don't sleep then?
Oh no, I'll just take the point of exhaustion.
Yes, which it would be a point of exhaustion. It would also be 50 experience towards everyone.
Yay!
Lovely.
Boy,
375.
So many frogs.
that's per frog, right?
And we're going to say, and I don't want you to logic me on this one, all right? We're
I'm
going
already
to
ready, Grim. I'm
say
ready for it.
that we get 20 meals worth, however you want to put it, like a ration's worth or whatever,
Yeah.
like all day
Oh my
meals
God.
worth from all of them, and that each one weighs about 5 pounds.
Each meal weighs
each
5
meal.
pounds?
Yes, I mean,
Or
this
each-
is an entire day's,
Okay.
maybe 5 is a bit much.
I was
That
going
would be really heavy.
We'll
yeah.
say 2.5.
Like-
It's half as
Oh,
much.
one.
It's still a lot of meat.
American diet.
A
That's
normal
a lot,
ration is
but that's
1, isn't it?
not
Well,
as
a
bad.
normal ration is also dried food and bread. This is raw
Yeah.
meat.
This is raw, undried, uncured meat.
So how much of there is meat is there told?
20 meals worth, however you want to break it down.
20 meals, one is 2
So-
pounds?
2.5.
2.5.
You can't even spare us the extra half.
Nope.
So that's 40 plus 50 pounds of meat.
Holy crap.
Okay, well, Nix, how much of that meat can you carry since you just butchered it all?
Well, myself, I can probably carry, because I don't actually carry a lot of it, aside from the whole actual amount of
Fill
space
Chester
it takes
with it.
up. Well, that's the thing. All of my heavy items and all of my weight is already in Chester. So, I mean, I can carry 50 pounds, another 50 pounds of equipment on my back, but I can't fit 50 pounds of meat in my backpack.
A
So,
whole
like,
frog.
everyone fill up your backpacks, I guess.
We just
Is there
split this
a
amongst us
reason for us
equally,
to
or-
carry this around, though? Like, we don't need food, do we?
I didn't expect to roll a crit on the butchering. I didn't expect to flay every last ounce of meat off their bones.
I mean, we could just leave it here.
I mean, yeah, but I was also thinking if we run into any of the villages or anything, we can be like, hey, we had to kill some frogs, but we didn't want to waste it, so here's a gift.
How long
'Cause-
does
Good
fresh meat
point.
last? Because it could not last that long.
It kind of varies. I think we're going to say 3 days on this one.
I guess that's a lot longer than I'd give it credit for, but...
Wait, no, Virial can cast Purify Food and Water, can't he?
Yeah, I assume I'm out of a bear form right now. I just can't resize myself.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that would make it not putrid. It might not taste delicious, but it'd be safe.
I mean, it might make the meat a little bit blander, if anything, but yeah, it's safe meat
don't-
for a long time.
I honestly don't know. I've never tried, so I don't know how it affects taste. It
Let's-
would make it definitely safe to eat, but it might taste rotten.
Let's find out in a couple of days when this stuff smells a bit
Well,
less fresh.
Ugh.
alright, so how much of the meat are you carrying?
Well, if people wanted to take, like, 4 or 5 rations worth each, that's splitting it up reasonably.
Alright, I'll take 5 and hold
Yeah.
on
I'll
to
take
them.
5. Yeah, it makes everything. How much did they weigh again? 2.5.
2.5. Yep.
2.5.
Each. Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
And then, yeah, Shafa takes 5, and then I'll take 5. And then that's 12 odd pounds of frog meat.
All right.
That's all the meat on me.
Surprised I'm not towards my carrying capacity. Am I not?
It's something like 10 times your
Oh,
strength.
God,
score,
I'm no,
15
I'm not. I'm
times
not there
your
yet. But
Yeah.
I'm skirting it. I'm like 14 pounds off.
strength.
Like 15 times your strength or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm more than a...
Not known for my bulk, so.
So, sort of Nyx, butchers the night away. In the morning, he wakes up. He does have a point of exhaustion. But
Nyx is a
past that,
she.
excuse me, she.
Oh.
But past that, she does have, 20 days worth of frog rations for you all.
Actually, Nyx only has 5.
Well, I mean,
I
presumably she
would've, like-
gave you.
Yeah, I would have separated each part off essentially, like each grouping, because I would have assumed people would have liked the meat.
And it's choice
Yeah.
This
cuts.
is my meat now.
Great. Probably never
Well,
butchered a frog before in her life, but she got the hang of it real quick.
I stabbed down to the bone, and then I just followed the bone with the knife, and then I just removed the bone from meat.
I'd be like one of the flayed ones, like 40k. Just like slap the meat on me.
Sorry, what?
Necrons?
That's
The
terrifying.
Oh,
Yes, I remember the
Right.
flayed ones. Flayed
Like-
ones are amazing.
You were kind of breaking up through all that too. Like I
Was
heard
I?
slap the meat on me.
slap the meat on me.
Yeah, I heard Warhammer 40k, and then I knew what she was talking about.
Right.
Because I was like, a robot with meat, that's obviously a flayed one.
Yeah.
But the rest of
The
the
meaty
night
robot.
goes by peacefully. We can take a long rest if we'd like.
I didn't even use a shot with BB, so I don't even need to reload them either.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we are back over to the map. Can I get the big old random weather table on your side and on my side?
Do we get to see everything around the hex we're currently at as well? Because it's not foggy? Oh, assuming it is not
Yes, you
foggy,
are
I should
correct.
say.
Just a quick question. How long are we going tonight?
Oh, this is the normal time, I guess, that we normally stop. I'm okay going a little bit longer, or if we want to stop early, we can. Or rather, on time, we can.
I'm good with whatever.
I'm fine for either.
So let's shoot
easy.
towards another 15 minutes or so.
Sure, we can we'll either go until we finish this walk, or we get an encounter.
Until we
or
find
whatever.
something, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find a good
Yeah.
point to leave off.
So did we see things around us?
Well, yes, but there's some strange weather effects going on.
Well, yes, but actually no.
So if I can get...
The last time we needed to roll, we all started killing each other.
Faces in the mist.
And I believe it is a will save to keep you from doing that. Or, excuse me, wisdom. So if
We're
I
doing
can
another
get a
wisdom
wisdom save from everyone.
Oh, it is
No
the same
way.
one.
It's
isn't
the
it?
same one.
It is not the same one.
Okay.
I was going to say, I make sure I'm not
Uh-oh.
standing in between two people,
Where's my
because
saving
I
throws?
just failed it.
Where's my saving throws.
1917.
Be off.
Nyx, you just die.
Sorry.
Make a new character.
Reroll.
And one from Sharfer as well.
You guys don't
Mind
want
rocks
me
all
making a
this
new
time.
character.
Are you there, Sharfer? There you go.
You can play as Chester.
He was having problems. He's in game, but
Gotcha. So the only one who
he
fails it
obviously
is
took the
Nyx.
hint. Yup.
Nyx, roll me a
Oh, look at
1d6.
Like that.
Oh, God. Nyx is gonna die.
So...
That doesn't sound good.
At some point, the wind starts blowing, and it's strange. There's sort of a silvery sheen to the light, and the next thing you notice is that Nyx is gone.
Oh god.
Nyx, join me in the
Well, they got
other
out.
chat for a second. The DM.
Well, they got away.
So the thing that has happened is that you have been blown forward in time for 2 hours.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. So I guess Like, weren't we doing this while we were walking and stuff? So is it just like a time thing? Like I've been removed from time, and
It's like a
put
time thing, like you've been junted forward 2 hours, which you would normally be doing, but junted forward 2 hours. It's
Okay.
so, you're sort of with everyone. To you, you would have unpacked everything, gotten all your stuff, and begin walking. And then suddenly, snap your fingers, you're 2 hours ahead where you would have been going.
Oh, okay. So I would essentially be already waiting where the
Yes.
party is?
Where hopefully the party is, or goes.
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess I just don't say or do anything for the next 2 hours in game, and then wherever the party's at would be where I would be at.
Well, no, because there's a chance that they could mess things up by not going where you're going. So, what I want you to
Okay.
do is to pick a square 2 tiles away,
Yep.
and that is where you will be.
Okay.
Don't ping it, just sort of tell me where it is in reference to Tythrin.
Yep. If you go, so top one is 1, and then going clockwise around, then it would be 6, 6.
Okay?
So
Yep,
yeah,
so
you should
sort
be
of
able to-
north, west, northwest.
yeah.
Okay? Great. Let's jump back in.
Sweet.
All right. So yes, all of a sudden, we go about our day
Quick, stop plotting.
the normal way. We unpack. The meat from the frogs is sort of divvied up. This silvery light blows through, and then all of a sudden, Nyx is gone.
When I turn around and see Nyx disappeared, I go over and swoosh my arm around where Nyx was.
She is
Do I feel her?
not invisible.
Gosh. Where did Nyx go? Does anyone to see where
Is-
she's gone to?
Is Blunderbear and Chester
Oh
around?
yeah, that's a good point. Are Blunderbear and Chester just sitting here?
No, they are gone too.
You gotta think of that one, eh?
I did have to think about that one.
Did they
Uh,
turn and go somewhere? Did we just miss them leave? They couldn't have just vanished.
I mean, maybe she wasn't offering us the meat, and she thinks we're stealing from her. We just insulted her too badly.
I mean, no, I would have actually been there, had it in separate piles for everyone, and given it to you guys as you woke up and were packing up and everything.
Yeah.
Because I assume that would have been done before the
Yes.
mist came through. Yeah.
I yell out Nyx into the wind.
You wouldn't
Do
hear
I hear
any. You would not hear anything back.
I'm afraid not.
If you give me 10 minutes, I can try and detect for magic.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously we shouldn't go anywhere because this is where Nyx disappeared. So
That's the rules of getting lost, right? You don't move, you try and be a still target.
I poke my spear into the ground, and we Varel starts doing his thing. So unless something happens in the next 10 minutes, Varel's about to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Nothing does happen. You cast Detect Magic. And yes, I mean, it's very obvious that the wind is magically charged at this point. Again, not an uncommon thing, but this certainly confirms it.
Well, the wind did it. I'm about 90% certain it's magical. It's the only
Alright.
thing magical about. And I
What
don't think
happened?
there's any tracks. I don't know that part. It did
I
something.
Nobody's
It
looked
didn't
for
tell-
tracks. Nobody's done anything like
I mean,
That's
okay, well,
Let's look for tracks.
I searched where Nyx disappeared at. I got a 20. The area she disappeared to, is there
So you do see footprints. It's going to be a survival to follow tracks. It's not
It's an-
perception. Yeah.
well, to look for traps? Because you said look.
Tracks. You do see that there are tracks. To follow tracks, it's survival. It's not perception.
As in, well, are these the tracks that we just like saw that we were making when we were walking, or are these
No, they're not headed
in a different direction?
They're headed basically. Well, you don't know. You got to give me the survival, but you do see tracks because again, it's not
Well, I mean,
perception. It's survival.
The
But are they the way we came, or a different way? We would know
Survival, not
where
perception.
we came from. What do you?
the perception
but-
lets you see the tracks, and now to actually figure out anything about the tracks, you've got to roll the survival.
But again, like we would have known which way we. Okay, let me ask this question: when she disappeared, had we started walking yet,
Yes,
or were we sitting still?
you had started walking.
So, all right, okay, I'll just roll. I mean, I still think I would be able to like, because they would still point in either.
But that's
line or
like
something.
rules as written. You know, following tracks is tied to survival, so perception isn't doing too much,
but-
basically.
Fair, but I'd still like be able to maybe not follow them, but if I saw them, they would her feet.
That's literally following tracks. I mean, if you can see what direction you're going, you're literally following tracks. You know.
I mean, well, not necessarily following them. I'm looking at the direction they're going.
This is one of those limitations by the game engine, basically.
I guess. I mean, that's fair. That's fair if you put it like that. But I mean,
We can also
I
put
can
it
see
down
the
to the
track.
fact that Nyx probably doesn't walk like a normal person. She would probably do a lot of skipping and cartwheels and stuff, and
does she
her,
have
her
like
plays and
stilts
acts.
or something where they're like,
Crab
you
walking.
cannot figure which
Yeah.
direction.
Oh, she's
She's like carrying a stick, like covering up her tracks everywhere she goes.
Well, maybe she's stealthing.
Okay, well, I
just don't
rolled
know
my
yet.
survival. Are the tracks in the way we came, or do they go off in some different direction?
What you can tell with the 10 is that they are going off in a different direction. They are
Okay,
going
that's all
off
I was asking.
different from the way you have came.
All right, we point to the tracks, and like we don't know where she went, but
With
tracks point this way, and thus we go. And I just start walking. Unless someone says otherwise.
I'll follow. I mean, I have no idea what's going on, so I'll just follow you.
Sharper? Any complaints? Or like different advice on what we should do?
I have no idea what we should do. This
All right, Graham. We start following the tracks for however good I can point the direction.
All right.
Do you want us to walk on like the overworld map?
I want
for
you to walk on
those,
the
or-
overworld map.
Which way should we? I mean, which way are we heading then? I mean, you can basically just walk me there. Since I truly am
like
following
this is the
tracks.
thing. You can't follow the tracks exactly. You gotta pick. You know it's not
Okay, well
coming
then-
from the south, but you gotta pick one of the other directions because your roll isn't good enough to follow these tracks. You can see where they start to lead off to, and they start to lead off, in sort of this
What
direction.
direction are they pointing?
They start going in this direction, and then you lose track of them.
Okay, but that's fine. What direction do we start walking in? Oh, you pinged something, didn't you? I just didn't see.
No, he didn't. That's
You
that's
didn't
the
pick.
point. This direction. It's
Yeah,
you
I mean,
don't
I
have
sort of
an
picked sort
accurate
of a
enough
vague
representation.
this direction.
Oh, you
mean,
did actually
like-
ping?
I
Okay,
did.
my bad.
But it's quite literally in the middle of. It's on the line between the two, so there's no
Exactly.
indication.
Oh, west.
Right.
Somewhere in the west area. Okay, we walk
Well,
south.
it can only go south, which we came from, or that, right? So, suppose.
Well, this is the less mountainous part, so I assume that she's not going to walk into the mountains. Because if she disappeared in an instant, I would assume she'd take the path of least resistance. Alright, do I need to roll survival, or do I keep with the 10?
You can roll survival again. Or anybody can roll survival. I'm sure
Someone
there's
else roll,
somebody
since I
who
rolled
better
plus one.
survival than a 1.
I was just gonna say,
actually-
can I believe that he's getting us lost, and I should also try and follow the tracks myself?
Someone else roll survival then, for this one?
Oh, I'm helpless when it comes to actually surviving in the wilderness.
I'm confident we're going in the right direction.
Trevor, you do not know where Tythrin is leading you. It is not the direction of the tracks.
Oh my god, then which way do the tracks point?
There are no tracks. There are no tracks around here, Tythrin.
What do
Where are we
you
going?
mean there's no track?
Have we just been following
in the right
nothing?
direction. What are we following,
We're
Tythrin?
following the tracks that were on the ground that were leading specifically this way. And I gestured.
What tracks?
Grim, what I point to the tracks that I have been following.
Uh-huh. I mean, you haven't been following tracks. I don't know why you're having such a hard time with this.
Tythrin just started to follow like a deer at some point. I can't tell the difference.
Like, then where are we? Nick is not. Look, I mean, we're gonna lose her eventually. Let's just continue on our way.
With an 18, do I notice anything, or have we walked too far away from the tracks?
I mean, at this point, you've walked a mile away from the tracks or so.
You
know that there's
Yeah,
nothing
never
in this
finding those
area
tracks
of, changeling size followed by a box with a bunch of legs and, a little wooden bear.
Man, we really do suck at tracking, huh? We lost the whole menagerie.
Okay, then we're heading north then. If we don't see tracks here, we're heading north. Thanks. So anyone have any calls on us going north? I don't hear a no. We're heading north.
Say so.
Where?
All right. Roll me survival again.
Survival.
Someone.
There you roll it.
Oh no, I'm just terrible at it. It's not even worth an attempt.
Then
I'm
I'm
gonna get us turned around in 70 circles. If you want to know something about something that leaves tracks, I'm happy to tell you. You're just like pushing me forward, like being like, roll it, do it.
Sure, if you would have tried to.
Now Tythrin's just like, no, we were definitely meant to go back that way.
Oh god.
And I agree with him.
I trust your judgment entirely, Sharper. You are an expert guide.
You guys can't pick up the tracks from where you are. You pick up some, and again, this is sort of, fuzzy right here. But in the bottom, sort of east corner that lead into the hex that you're on, but in the hex that you're on, you lose the tracks.
Can I pull you into the other chat quickly, Grim?
Yes.
So I figured by round about this point, it would have been roughly 3 hours time for me, and I blinked my eyes, and all of a sudden I'm in another area. So after about 3 hours of waiting, I would probably be seriously considering either a fire or firing off my pistol to try and let people know, because I mean, as far as I'm aware, I could be on the complete other side of the island, or I could be on the other side of a hill from them, and I could have been waiting for 3 hours with them on the other side. So I would probably at some point think of either one or both of those ideas to try and set a marker for me.
I mean, you have time to do one or both if you'd like.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, I probably wouldn't even start doing it until that, my timeline is 3 hours.
But even before you do that, though,
hours.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check if you would. It's not a hard one. So even, with a 9, which is not great, you would have noticed that there's a large concentration in this area of the birds that look exactly like Shafira, only, a bit smaller.
A bit smaller and less, not completely humanoid, but less humanoid.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say you also set a fire and you set off a pistol.
Well, no, in that case, if I'd noticed a lot of the birds like Shafira in this area, I probably would have just lit the fire, not done the pistol just in case it freaked them out or sent them scattering or anything like that. We're not meant to be up this end of the island, so I probably shouldn't send 300 birds flying off south.
Right. Okay. We can jump
But
back
yes.
in.
See,
Get bones that actually fill in so they can.
All right. So
Ostriches can kick you.
the three of you, where you are, please roll a perception check.
Can I use my 20 that I wasn't allowed to use earlier?
Can I roll
First,
something? Can I maybe roll
Oh,
something that I haven't
it's a
like, that I actually
5.
rolled at least one decent roll of?
A 5 and a
It's
7. At least
okay.
Mario rolled good.
So
Very
Yeah, we
good.
all
we
rolled a
all-
1.
We all crit failed on our right side one.
That's very interesting.
Hope we don't have disadvantage.
No, we don't, thankfully. There's smoke coming up from the north west.
I relay this information.
Um,
Smoke? Are we in a volcano? Or is that a fire?
Not that much smoke.
Okay, that's not a volcano.
I know that was mostly in character, but I felt as if it's important.
If it's a fire, it's worth investigating no matter what. Perhaps we can find more survivors or Nix or anyone.
It could be more.
Did I roll a
survivors.
survival
I
yet
doubt
to
it.
look for tracks?
Yes. You did.
Let
You
us
rolled a
look
10 and
at that.
Sharper rolled a 4.
Let's see.
I
Do we
doubt
want-
it would be
do we want-
next, but it could be at least a survivor. I think we should talk to
We
them.
were also told
Go
not to
over
go
there.
to the north, though. That's where all the birds are.
Yes, but we were also told
the
not to go
birds
to the
like
temple,
fires?
and that is the one place that I do want to go.
Do we want to go to the birds? Or we want to go to the temple?
anywhere. We've nearly
Maybe
explored-
Nix is at the temple.
We should check
Like, if
the
you-
fire. It's right there.
We were also instructed not to go over there.
We were more instructed not to go to the temple than this small fire across a hill or whatever.
And at this point, I start walking towards the fire, just
Oh, we
ignoring
go
the
towards
river.
the fire. Northwest, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, northwest.
Okay, we go there.
and finally, you guys would find me sitting at a fire, sitting on top of Chester, playing with BB. And I'd turn around to you guys and say,
I'll be back in
"Hi,
30.
hi guys. Took
I'll be like,
you-
where the hell have you been?
I mean,
What happened?
here, I don't exactly know what happened. I just kind of blinked and I was here. But I mean, it's been, I don't know what, 3, maybe 4 hours?
Indeed, it
You
has
see,
been a
well,
while. We've been wandering around
yeah.
looking for you.
What
Keeping in
church
mind-
were we following?
Catherine thought they
Oh,
were following you and went the wrong way.
I'll tell you guys this to save Grim having to do it. It has only been 3 hours. Yeah, I don't know when he wants to break what happened to you, but I died. I actually broke down into tears laughing when you guys were like, maybe we should stay here.
Well,
But for me, it's felt like 3, nearly 4 hours that we've been apart. But for you guys, it's been 2, maybe 3 hours.
so you just teleported here?
Something like that. Everything got kind of weird, and I don't want to say fast, but at the same time, it felt like things went by in the blink of an eye.
What are we following?
We're following her tracks.
You were following my
clearly-
tracks, but
They
I had
clearly pointed over here.
Yeah, I had set. Like I said, I don't want to say too much without ruining it
Would
for
maybe
Grim, 'cause
somebody
he might
want to
wanna
make
tell
an
you.
Arcana check?
Yeah,
I'd be willing.
No.
No.
I'm making the Arcana check. No, Mario can do.
Where do we go?
or else I'll
Proficiency.
just. That might
That's
tell
probably
you. Tell us
decent
more.
Arcana.
That's good enough. Basically, it was something called a temporal wind. He failed
told
his
how
save,
much?
and he was jaunted, 1d6 hours forward in time.
i.e., 2 hours forward in time.
How does that involve you getting over here?
So you
Well,
didn't
Because
move. You just got.
I continued on our original plotted course, or what Nix thought was our original plotted course, which is up to the north. So
We
my
were told not
tracks
to go to the mountain.
continued 2 hours to the direction I headed. And then
we were going to head to the south.
Were we?
I didn't know that. As far as I've seen, we've been going up this coast, so I would have thought we would have just kept following the coast around until we found either the birds, which Nix would point out, and she'd kind of be like, put her finger over her mouth and be like, shh, and point out all the birds that look like Shafiro.
These birds are why we weren't supposed to be over here. That's why we were
Speaking
going
of
to head
which,
south.
That's kind of why I'm saying shush. I mean, I would have given you guys a louder mark for where I was, but I didn't want to scare them.
we are going to be ending right around here. However, we are sort of finding ourselves. This is not actually in the middle of the water. It should be noted. This is actually ground and not water. But we've sort of found ourselves following tracks, following the smoke, very close to where these birds are obviously nesting. And that is where we're going to pick up next week. Because we are going to go ahead and end it right here.
Good session.
Yeah.
I really don't like things that fuck around with time in D&D, though. I'm coming to realize that more and more.
Yeah.
That's just sort of in anything. Time distortion is just. It's a horrible thing to have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Like, it's not so bad. It's not so bad if everyone's on the same quote unquote timelines and everything, but when you start having little jumps like that and stuff like that, that's when it's a bit like meh, it just gets too confusing. Because yeah, for Nix, it was what, a blink of an eye. I traveled 2 hours and then waited 3 hours, and then for these guys, it was 3 hours of them walking around,
right?
Or 3 to 4 hours of it.
But yeah.
Still a good session.
I thought so. This is where we're going to be ending it, like I said. If you've been watching, thank you for watching. I certainly appreciate it, especially all your comments and some of your likes as well. And if you have not been watching, you should have been watching.
You know what, Graham? I want to take your advice. I'm going to start watching from now on whenever we play.
I hope you all have a great day, and peace out. Bye-bye.